Hey, welcome, travelers. If you're new here, hello. My name is Brenna. I am your God's Christmassiest soldier DM, and welcome to Tales from the Catacombs. This is our tabletop RPG adventure that we are thrilled to share with you. This game uses the Dungeons&Dragons 5th edition system and rules, and the setting is a homebrew based on the rock album Razia's Shadow by Forgive Durden. Before we get too lost in our adventure, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're over 200 subscribers now, thanks to all of you. Thanks for word of mouth, which also means that when we do get back in the new year, this is our last session of 2024. Guys, we made it. Woo, a whole year, look at us go. When we get back in 2024, we will have a very special one-shot. 25! I know what I said. We'll have a special one-shot coming up, run by our beloved Catherine here, who plays Ste'yn. And I don't know if it's during that session that we're going to do our giveaway, or we will anyway do a giveaway, or we'll just do one.
We're doing one in a week for celebrating 200 members is the plan.
Look at me knowing what happens on my own YouTube channel. So next week
we got it.
Next week, we're doing a special little Christmas one-shot that I will be running, and we're going to be doing a giveaway for hitting 200 subscribers. Thank you for all that, and I'll tell you more about the one-shot later. But in the meantime, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below to help the algorithms, answering the following question. What puts you in the celebratory spirit? What puts
Alcohol.
you in the celebratory spirit? You know, we were just talking about that a moment ago. For some people, you just need a little...
Hey, I'm 21. I can drink.
I'm 21. Everyone's 21. And if you're not 21, think of something else. Without further ado, please enjoy this session of Razia's Shadow, a 1,000-year interlude. Let's recap. Session 40. Paths to Wisdom. The Vivere began their exploration of Leandra's labyrinth, with the fey creatures mocking and scorn following their every move. The paths changed behind them, increasing their sense of being trapped, potentially unfairly, as if Leandra truly had no intention of letting them leave, no matter what proof they might have or offer that they were of the light. The air continued to feel heavy and intrusive on their minds and their hearts. In a valiant gesture, Beau offered to stay behind and let the others finish the maze. He admitted to being a feral and the potential real target of Leandra's hatred. His companions wouldn't hear it. They wouldn't forge on unless they forged on together. The labyrinth had more twists and tricks to force out the truth from the Vivere, but they overcame every obstacle and found the end, to Leandra's utter shock. When they stepped out, she looked to be a different, more angry creature, and she felt tricked herself. But in the end, Leandra agreed to send the Vivere on their way. Beau lingered a little longer to ask Leandra about a personal matter that appeared in part of her labyrinth. They agreed to trade, but Beau wanted a unique cloak instead of information. The two came to a slightly begrudging deal before Beau exited back to the material plane with the others. So, at this point, all four of you have now stepped forward through the portal, this time that the fey creature, Leandra, created. You step out, it's kind of cloudy now. The sun is peeking through fairly high in the sky, it seems. There are, what you can see around you, and what you first feel is this kind of squelching of your boots in what feels like mostly mud. You see scattered trees, distant, mostly open swampland. There are some pools that are shallow enough to see the mud through that murky water, and there are other pools that are too deep. They're too dark to see what's around you. And everything seems washed in this very dull greens and browns. especially in comparison to where you had just been, where everything was almost painfully vibrant in color. And it's taking your eyes a little bit of time to adjust, take a few seconds of kind of blinking and getting used to the world that you are much more familiar with. It's moist where you are, gives you a good sense of, at least hopefully you came to the right destination. And again, your shoes are kind of squelching in this muddy pocket that you've stepped out into. As you back out and you kind of get onto more stable ground, you can hear pools bubbling, gurgling a bit, and far and near animal calls breaking through pockets of almost stifling stillness. And Ste'yn, with your perceptiveness, you do spot something as your eyes kind of finally readjust. It kind of looks like something in the air towards your left. So further down one of these paths that looks a little more stable, a little more earthy and grounded. It just looks a little bit off to you. Looks a little funny. Right at the far off, this far off little like rope bridge looks like someone might have made. Maybe someone traveling through here over some of the deeper pools. The air seems to kind of waver a bit, almost like heat lines. But it's not nearly hot enough. It's not like you're in the dead of Emberglow. And it's not quite hot enough for it to have that effect. Not normally. Before we continue, a little bit of housekeeping real quick. Snow, can you please roll me a 1d4?
And why go?
3.
Oh, we.
Okay, subtract that from your gold, please.
Is he even carrying around gold at this point?
Not much.
We should check.
What's
But Snow doesn't care.
Well, I mean, because
I
Beau
love this
has all
ongoing
the
feature.
gold from the thing that they got, the stash.
Mhm.
So that's why I was wondering if he even had any at this point.
I did my due diligence.
Hmm.
Thank you, Snow.
I have mostly just copper and silver left. I only have a few gold pieces left at this point.
See.
Oh dear. I could have sworn I wrote that in. Gasp. I'm sorry. I had a note. Well, something was happening, and I had it written before this, and it looks like I might have accidentally erased it. Give me 1 second.
You can have 2
1.
seconds if you need it.
That's so gracious of
2.
you. Thank you.
Unfortunately, those seconds are already up.
Beau just needs some time to get back from the plane.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. So he's still
That's true.
he's not
Yeah,
there
we
then.
didn't come through together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
it's like-
editing it, it was roughly about 6 minutes over there that he was talking to her.
That's a
So
long time. We're waiting.
I was gonna say,
So
Viola's
should we
freaking
go
out.
back?
She thinks Beau's dead.
And we lost him after all that
after
cheering
that
and we're not going without
grandstanding,
you.
we're not leaving you.
I thought he was following with you.
I thought he was coming. He made it look like he was
Oh.
coming.
What if he's dead? What if he got taken somewhere else?
I'm sure he's all right. Just let's give him a couple
He's not
minutes and see. He might. Maybe he decided to do something weird. Who knows? It's Beau.
I mean, that does track. Something weird goes right up Beau's alley. He's so dead.
He better not be dead.
If he's making Fey deals without me, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
I don't know why anybody
there's
would
even
make
a
deals
thing.
with that lady.
Also, in the stories.
Like what?
I haven't heard many.
What do these
stories about
people
this.
typically make Fey deals for? Oh, storyteller.
Or anything. People have. I don't like. I didn't get the vibes from Leandra that she was like that powerful. But the legends say that there are fae that are so powerful they can grant wishes. They can, do all kinds of things, but they'll often like twist your words, So like you might wish to never die, but you end up just like being thrown back in time or something, or wild
You
stuff.
just live the same day over and over again.
Right.
Goodness.
Which, if it's a good day,
I was gonna say, if you get to
some
pick the
people wouldn't
day,
mind. But eventually, that would get old. I think for me, that'd get old after about 2 days.
you can go pretty far in a day. Go a different direction every single day.
Like
That's
Majora's
true.
Mask.
You could also just like do whatever you want, because then it's gonna be back to the same day the next day. It's like not everybody's gonna remember. You could like go
Type
and
through all the
mess with
options.
Mora.
I wonder if I did that, if I could continue to grow in magic, or if that would also get like reset. Would I forget the things that I learned?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because if not,
I guess if you forgot that you were reliving the same day,
well, in that case, then I
anyways,
wouldn't
then-
have to worry about it anyway.
it would suck in theory, but in practice, you'd have no idea.
Speaking of magic, I think there's something going on down that path over there. And I think, Brenna, are you ready for us?
As you guys are determining what could have happened to Beau and what might have happened in the Fey realm, and now lore, because Snow is in fact a college of lore.
Lore.
Yes. I was like, wait, is it too easy? That might have been too easy. Hard. Viola, you already have numerous voices talking to you, and then another excitable voice enters your mind. And you hear this sleek but excitable sound, familiar, as she says, "Sweetheart, there you are. I have news for you. Find me when you can. You won't be disappointed." And you recognize the voice of Helena Fresca, the tabaxi that you've met.
Viola starts freaking out. She's screaming and jumping around and like losing her mind.
And no one knows why.
Oh my goodness.
Are you gonna respond?
Viola?
Helena
bee
just
in your
messaged
armor?
me in my brain. Viola says, "Oh, I only get 25 words."
Now,
Right?
if you think she would just be excited and just ramble off, you could just see how much
Just
gets
start
through.
going.
Oh my gosh. Hi. Okay. How do I find you? What news do you have? We're at Bull Swamp. I
Got
don't know
like
how many
5
that
more
was.
left.
Just left the Feywild. And then she probably starts rambling on about the Feywild and how she doesn't know how to get back to her and yeah.
Fantastic. At the end of your rambling, you realize you don't get a response. But as you, what does Viola look like while she is trying to use this magic she's relatively unfamiliar with? What does she look like while she's concentrating?
She's like her. I feel like her face and head are very still and focused, but like her hands are like kind of going all over the place, and she's probably like jumping around a little bit or like swaying back and forth. And
Like a
she's
traffic
like
guard.
she's like emphasizing every statement and word with her hands.
So she's Italian. Got it.
I mean, Viola is kind of an Italian name.
As you're watching her concentrate, and you can almost tell, you don't know what she's saying, but you can tell where punctuation marks probably go based on when she's squinting or when her hands move. Ste'yn, you're watching her go on. You can probably guess, especially since she mentioned Helena had essentially sent a message to her. As she's still focused, you hear that familiar voice, a familiar voice in your own mind as well.
Great.
But Viola is still going while you're hearing this, meaning that spell's done. You hear Helena, and you hear her saying, "My grim darling, you'll be glad to know I've gotten word from our Golden Doll's recipient. You want her to have it? Find me."
Can you repeat that for my own sake?
She's
Yes,
really bad
I
about
can.
giving out her address.
She is. She just expects everyone to know. Obviously, you know where the silver cat is. She said, "My grim darling, you'll be glad to know I've gotten word from our Golden Doll's recipient. You want her to have it? Find me." More details to come. This message will now self-destruct. I think that's over 25 words, though.
Ste'yn replies, "How about you find us for a change? We're in Bull Swamp. Hope to see you soon. Thanks for the updates. Much love. Bye."
Did you just get sassy with Helena Fresca?
Ste'yn is still caffeinated.
Yep.
Ooh.
Been like
you don't have
3 years at this
inspiration,
point.
If you don't have inspiration, Viola and Ste'yn, please take an inspiration. Got sassy. Dang. You don't get a response.
Wouldn't expect one.
I didn't think so. Regardless, you do not get a response. In another minute or two, as Ste'yn has mentioned this odd-looking space in the air further down, another figure finally steps through this portal. Beau makes his way out, and it quickly snaps shut behind him.
Beau, you're not dead!
Oh, thank goodness we don't have to go back for you.
Your eyes are also adjusting to the very bright and now the very dull, and it's almost like an after image.
Okay, dullness.
You talking about the people or the landscape?
Boom.
Yeah, no, we should have stayed there, honestly.
I didn't want to stay there, and I'm so glad that we
It was
didn't.
so fun. It was so fun, though. Does
Was
the
it,
thing
though?
look magical?
What?
Where Ste'yn pointed out, does it look magical?
It looks like heat lines. You can give me an Arcana check.
I would love to do that.
Beau, why did you take so much longer to get out than we did?
Oh, I was just talking.
About
You know our
what?
Beau. Loves
Yes,
to
he's-
socialize.
Were you making deals for wishes? That's what we suspected was happening.
Wishes?
Did you ask her to make you immortal?
No.
That's good.
And I don't
22.
make wishes.
Well, not yet, anyways. Maybe if you had a wish to make, then you would.
We
No.
are sassy tonight.
Yeah, I know. Gosh. Must be that end of the year feeling. Snow, you look at it, and it does look like there might be, it could be some type of illusory kind of effect. Maybe just kind of very loose, like they didn't care so much about being hidden, perhaps, more than just a natural looking thing. But most people probably would have walked past it anyway, just it looked very natural as part of the surroundings.
How far away is it?
It's fairly far off. It's, I don't know, some
Not close.
extra 200 yards out.
Couple football fields.
Yeah, you know, down there.
Not
Because you
too
can
far.
see a
Your
pretty
half
decent
elf eyes
expanse.
see.
You can see a decent expanse of the swamp. There aren't a ton of trees in this area, so just further down through the muck and the mire. And Beau,
Oh.
stepping through, getting yourself adjusted. They point out this odd spot. When you also hear a voice in your mind. And it sounds very much like your partner, boss, Helena. And her tone is not entirely the expected whimsical, flashy, as it very often
in
is. It's a little more to the point, as you hear her say, Alston moving too. Killed my man. You owe me. But Emmerich for now. Loria in Eustra Mine. You might have time, but not much.
Does he know where that is?
Yes, you would know. The city is Loria. Eustrum Mine is a county further north. It's right next to Eustrum. I have to look up the proper name. Some other form of major or bigger, the bigger of the two, where you have in fact seen before.
Okay.
So you know that area a little decently. And Loria is the only actual kind of city in that smaller county. The only other major feature there would be Slinger's Quarry.
Okay, so can you repeat the last part then? Because I'm trying to figure out what specific spot she's talking about, or is she talking about the whole cluster? That's what I'm trying to make out.
He said Loria in Eustra Mine.
Okay, so Loria.
You might have time, but not much.
All right, well, do my best.
You don't get a response.
How far away is that?
Way north. It's up in the region near Zaylee.
Okay. And that is like weeks? Days?
Unless you can fast travel with some magic portals, which are set up in the 3 major cities across the
And the major
kingdom.
city in that place would be Lore or
Zaylee.
Zaylee.
There's either
Zaylee. Okay, so go to Zaylee, and then from
Fallwatch,
Zaylee
or
go to L'Oreal.
Drenfeld. Loria.
Loria.
L'Oreal Kid. All right. What are you guys doing? You've been contacted, Beau is returned, and you're in a swamp, and there's some weird hazy stuff.
Viola was getting ready to ask who has the map that they were
Beau
given
does.
by Nora. Could we maybe figure out where we're at, where we need to go? Those sorts of things.
Yes. It's been a while. What are we trying to get at this place?
Hasn't been that long. But we're
It's only
trying
a few days.
What are we trying?
We're going behind the people Nora sent us to find here. It's supposed to be safe here for us while we figure out what's going on in Gratimano and how to handle everything with she who should not be named.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but more importantly, we're also here to find out why there was a teleportation circle connected to here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
That's
not stay safe, but actually figure that out instead, because Nora's plan was boring.
How do we know where the teleportation circle specifically went to here?
We don't.
We don't.
That's how we gotta figure it out.
Oh,
And how
that
long are we
sounds
thinking we're going to
difficult.
spend in this swamp?
We need to find Helena at some point in time. She said she has news for me.
I told her to find us for a change.
She told me she's around Oostrom.
Ugh,
You should
that's so
find us
far
for a
away.
change.
Did she answer? I don't see her as the type to take orders, especially from us.
She
She
isn't.
did not, but who knows?
Well, it's up to her. This is what we're doing right now.
Okay. So how does one go about finding the location of the exit of the teleportation circle from wherever that basement was to here in Bull Swamp somewhere?
I think the first step would be looking for things that seem suspicious. And he is staring straight at the magical thing in the air that Ste'yn pointed out.
I think we should
And
check
he
that out
starts
too.
walking towards it.
Okay, let's go.
And Beau's trying to compare landmarks that you can see with the map to try and get an idea where they are.
Viola will help him, but she's also talking about how much she misses Buttercup and she wishes Buttercup was with them.
You're distracting me now.
Roll
Hey,
at disadvantage.
Good luck with that. He has guidance for the next minute.
I was gonna say, well, if she's gonna help him, that's advantage on the roll. Now she's talking about Buttercup. It would be disadvantage, so it's just a regular roll again. But with guidance, has guidance changed in our new 2024
D4.
rules?
It's a
Okay,
D4.
Still a
it's an
D4.
extra D4. You can roll an investigation
I don't have my
to
dice out.
Oh, okay.
understand
Investigation.
Nora's map.
Nice.
So you guys are looking at the map.
Not as
Snow
nice.
is headed towards the funny-looking space.
Ste'yn's following Snow.
All right, so I got a 14 plus 3, so that's 17, minus 2 because of his exhaustion, so I got a 15.
Ah, wow,
Wow,
that is the
tired
DC I
boy.
set, in fact. Because it is not a very accurate map. Nora may be good at some things, and this may not be one of them. She may not be an artist or a cartographer.
Who is
It
a
does.
cartographer here? We've never gotten a really good map, I feel like.
Listen, I take that personally.
Maybe it's some motivation.
Wow. I'll just spend all my time learning how to use Dungeon Alchemist and Incarnate.
No, it's you're doing
Remember that
great.
time I made a
you.
map of the kingdom and it was like 15 kingdoms big?
It's beautiful.
It's a nice little map I made. Anyway, so Beau, you're looking over this map and a little bit distracted with Viola occasionally thinking about Buttercup and that grass over there might be a little dirty, but Buttercup would still probably make the most of it. And maybe some berries, she'd like that. But you do kind of figure out that where you are along that map. I should have that copy of the map out myself, shouldn't I? You are you get the sense you're definitely near like the river, which would make sense as far as someone had made this bridge. It looks like it's pretty decently sized as you're headed towards it, but you get the sense you're down probably near that area that looks like it's marked in her handwriting that says Sazini area, so you're probably somewhere in that region, somewhere along or somewhere near to the river. As you are walking with you two with your heads down in the map and Ste'yn and Snow walking ahead, Ste'yn, it becomes very apparent to you as you are intent and focused and listening close that some of the burbling from these ponds becomes a little more active. Doesn't seem like the normal just air pockets and such. Becomes a little more active. And you become quickly aware, and you can make Snow aware, as a little creature jumps out from one of the pools. Jumps out onto further up ahead towards a path you're headed towards, kind of leaning in, I guess, like a kind of southbound direction. But it jumps out, and you immediately recognize it as a bullywug. One of the ones like you had seen so many months ago. And then another. And you hear more splashing as more and more jump out. And I need you all to please roll me initiative. I need Beau and Viola to roll at disadvantage, please.
Okay.
Rude.
I will also say that part of the walk there, because he said last time it was hot in the area, Beau has removed his undershirt and then just put back on his vest and took off his bandana because he doesn't want layers.
Oh, so we're back to the fan fiction, are we?
Ste'yn has not taken off any layers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, wow. I got 2 16s.
Dag.
Hey, I also rolled a 16, but my other one was a 19.
So mine is a 22.
Well, so much for that disadvantage.
Why is it
My
giving
initiative is a
Jurassic Park?
19.
Sorry, wrong one.
Yeah,
I-
that's a Lord of the
really
Rings.
excited. I got excited. There's an epic moment coming up.
Jurassic Park.
I'm thinking of
You just see
I'm
Gandalf
thinking of that
blasting a
actor.
T-Rex.
what's his name? I'm thinking of that actor when he's like his shirt is open and he's leaning down, but also I'm thinking of Aragorn.
Good old Aragorn.
Yeah, you know.
We do
Good
stand
times in middle
Aragorn.
school.
No.
Viola, you said you got a 16,
19. I rolled a 16.
but you rolled a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, so it became 19 total.
correct.
Okay. Snow.
It did not come through.
12.
That'll happen if you're muted. Stay in.
16.
16. All right. I didn't print the thing. Where's your name? Oh, there. Hey.
Where's your app now? Or whatever that thing is that you're talking about.
I got it right here. I'm using
Milano?
it right now.
Yeah,
I'm using
whatever
it
it is.
right now.
Oh, I think
You
Claw
don't
is
even
right. I think
know.
you were thinking of Jeff Goldblum when he was
Yes, that
sitting
is
with
exactly
it.
who I was thinking of.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, I love these dice and they roll so terribly. It hurts my heart. All right.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're not. Don't lie to me.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got up. So Beau, despite being at disadvantage, Viola.
Oh, actually, it would be a 20 even because exhaustion -2 instead of a 22.
Still Beau up front.
Yeah.
Ste'yn, Snow, and all of them rolled like garbage. Snow, what's your dexterity? It's pretty high, I imagine.
My initiative is +2.
Excellent. And I'm practicing a new way to keep track of my stuff. Pretty excited. Oh, actually, I part wrong. Yay!
Then we start blasting.
It's like then I started blasting.
If they're exactly the same kind of polywogs as last time, we should make short work of this. Considering we beat the last
I'd
group with
love
only
to-
3 people.
I'd love to talk through my process with this combat. I just we'll do it afterwards.
There could be something bigger hiding behind the bullywogs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can combine. Mega Bollywog.
They all stack on top of each other and form one giant
It's a
monster.
bullywog now.
Amalgamog.
Bunch of bullywogs in a trench
Bullywog?
coat.
All right. Let's give this a separate screen because I can. Okay. And we'll move you over to where I've got stuff. On.
Jeez.
Roll 20.
Come on, roll 20. There you are. Is it this guy? It should be
Is
this
this
guy.
our first combat after being level 7?
No,
it is.
because we fought
No.
those dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh,
fought
yeah.
the.
The dogs were like easy though.
Oh, do you think
Did you guys
bollywogs are gonna
level?
be harder?
Did you
What'd
guys
you ask?
level after
After
you guys
the-
leveled after the bandits?
Yeah,
I just
Yes.
know that I've
after the
not
long
used-
rest after the bandits.
Okay.
I just know that I haven't used my 4th level spell yet. Decided to.
You should use
I
it
don't
just
think
for
I
fun.
have either.
You should do it just for fun.
Oh, he will be.
He's like, you know, I feel like blasting. All right. So first up, so what you guys see, what I should have asked, what I meant to ask was your marching order.
I imagine
but it-
Ste'yn and Snow would be higher up than Beau and
Yeah.
Viola. And if she was
Mhm.
looking over, so
but
we're
probably
going
no further than where Snow is now.
and we're going up on this diagonal path, is it? So we're going.
Yeah. So
Kind
you
of that
were
way.
headed in this direction,
Okay, so we're
Um,
going that way.
past some pools, some more shallow than others, and these bullywugs have popped up in your path. None of them looking terribly friendly. All of them croaking and pulling out these spears.
They're already dying.
Um,
It's fine.
yes. Those would be easy. Beau, you are pulled away from your search of the map by these creatures, angrily, not quite riveting, but also croaking but not dying. You're up first.
All right, so as a bonus action, he's going to do Blade Song. So let me just adjust things here real quick. All right, and then he's going to go up here. Yeah, you can get to right there. Maybe he'll go right there. And then he's going to attack the one right here on the left of the
Excellent.
wogs.
Of the wugs.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I need to check for something real quick. I will be right back. Pardon a moment.
Okay.
Okie doke. So, wait, are we on a break screen?
No.
Okay. So,
We are in fact still
Do you need
alive.
me to go to a break screen?
No, I saw Ste'yn leave, or I saw Catherine leave, and I was like, wait, were we taking a break?
No.
You can
That
if you want to.
That was
need to
not
print-
my
I need to
understanding of
print
the
this thing or I'm gonna go
situation.
Crazy.
So, who's decorated their Christmas tree?
Who
Too early
finds
for
a
that
Christmas tree yet?
still.
What?
No,
No.
I put up my Christmas decorations the day of Thanksgiving after I had lunch.
I'm not even putting up Christmas decorations.
David!
I'm not even gonna be here for Christmas.
So, you can still enjoy the Christmas cheer.
Yeah, I'm doing it. One drink
Also,
at a
Catherine,
time.
what is that drink that you have?
It is a sparkling water. It's a
Okay.
Bellini
It's a
Bliss
bubbly.
version.
Because it looks like the strawberry lemonade Natty Light cans, and I thought you were drinking a natural light right now, and I was
No.
like, Catherine, please raise your standards.
No, it's sparkling water.
What's
Okay,
a
that makes
what?
way more sense.
Still, raise your standards.
Yeah, the overall theme of today: raise your
I'm telling God.
standards.
See,
Yeah,
Claire's
Dr.
put up
Pepper.
her tree. She knows what's up. My My tree's up, but I haven't decorated it yet. I haven't had time. I've been putting up all my other decorations.
I don't own a tree yet in my new house, but I will, and then it will be decorated immediately. We are late with tree decoration. It should have been done by Halloween. Shame on me.
No,
Can I
no,
roll
no,
to
no
attack?
Christmas until after Thanksgiving.
Yes. Okay. Thank you guys for your patience. I really needed this thing printed, or else I was gonna cry a little. So, Beau, you run up to the nearest two that are along the path. The nearest two bullywugs on the path. Go ahead, roll your attack.
All right, and he's gonna do booming blade on the one to the left. And...
Okay. We're calling him A.
All right, that's going to be a 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Cool. And that's a d6 plus a d8 for thunder damage. So from slashing damage, he takes 4 slashing points. And then he also takes 7 thunder damage. And if he moves, he'll take another 2d8 thunder damage.
Okay. You slash into him with this vibrating thunder sound that just shakes its entire body. And as you remove your blade, it doesn't get back up. It collapses to the ground. I don't know if that counts as moving. I'm going to say it does for the sake of just as it falls over to the ground, its body continues to shake from thunder. Anything else you'd like to do, Beau?
Nope, that's all he can do.
Okay.
Or he might... Wait, where was he standing? He was standing, like, here? Was that it? Or is he standing down? I feel like they were standing next to each other, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So he can move another... He's going to move behind this one, then. Because he still has 10 more feet of movement, so...
Okay. Sorry, I'm just finishing up putting my... I made myself a little chart for a combat tracker. I'm really excited about it. It's just, it's so fun. Okay. And you're not all starting at max HP, are you? Some people took a little damage while you were traveling to Fey Realm.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Sleeping.
Okay,
Those-
Viola.
Took
Cool flex.
about 14 damage, so he's operating at 31 right now.
Oh, geez.
31. Ste'yn, what are you sitting at?
Ste'yn is sitting at 62.
Okay, and this will be the last time I ever ask out loud, like, hey, what's your HP? I
can
like
ask.
when we don't do that. No, I like when you guys don't do that for each other. Like, how are you feeling?
Well,
Like,
on a
those are
scale
fine.
of
1 to 74. How are you feeling? Snow, what's your HP at right now?
41.
41. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Next up is Viola.
I want to say this first so that I don't forget, and hopefully we can help remind each other. I'm supposed to roll advantage on initiative, so that would have canceled, but I forgot. I'm just bringing that up so then we can help each other remember things.
I sure hope I remember that one day.
Okay. So she is going to pull out her crossbow, and she's going to shoot this one right here.
Point again.
In the swamp.
This one over to the right.
Excellent.
Let me use the Viola dice. That is an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Is 6 damage, and it has slow, so its movement is reduced by 10 feet.
Okay. Ouch. It seems
and
incredibly
then-
unhappy.
Okay, she's gonna do the same thing to the one to up and to the left of it.
Okay.
Well, it has the reload or the load
Hey,
feature.
crit.
She can't shoot
Oh.
again with it.
She has to
My
reload
extra
it.
attack. I have 2 attacks.
Yeah, I know, but you're using a crossbow, remember?
It's got
Crossbow
a load.
has a load feature. With crossbows, even if you have extra attacks, you can only shoot once unless you have the crossbow expert.
Oh.
We talked about that.
Yeah, I thought that only count. I thought that was for my like extra attack with my.
No, that's per round.
It's just because of how a crossbow is loaded up. You
Oh.
have to take a time with it.
Now
to actually...
I'm really sad because I rolled a nat 20.
Okay, do you have a dagger on you?
Yeah.
Why don't you
Okay.
say you moved up within range of the dagger? Because dagger's a throwover, so you still have your other attack. If you move up in range of throwing it, you could still use that crit damage and just say you throw your knife.
Can I do that, Brenna?
Yeah.
I will give you permission because of Christmas.
Because of the Christmas.
This is how I get in the celebratory spirit, is I let my players use all
Okay.
the fun features they want. That are still within the rules as written.
Okay.
Yep. So Viola, just keep in mind as you are running up into this area, you come off of where the ground is a little more solid. Your feet are kind of squishing into a shallow pool here, but it's pretty sticky. Inside of this shallow water here is considered difficult terrain. So if you move
Okay.
further into it, it will be double your movement.
Okay.
But you should be in 20-foot range from there, because I think that's the dagger
Mhm.
range.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 20-foot range from there, and I moved 25 feet from where I was.
Perfect.
So, roll the die and double what I roll, or roll 2 die.
So
Rolled.
it is roll 2
think-
die is what we've been doing, but have you considered the fact that you also have Hunter's Mark as a bonus action?
I know. I just wasn't planning on using it because I only get 2, and I didn't know if bigger things were coming out. I didn't want to.
Yeah, but it lasts
for a
I didn't
minute.
think about that.
It lasts a
wasn't
minute,
planning
you can
on
move
using
it.
You do not need to use it if you do not want to. If you decide, hey, maybe I want to, you are welcome to.
This is
It's
me
your
reminding
call.
you, like, your initiative.
This is us helping each other, remember.
That is 12 damage. And
Onto
then
this guy?
that one.
If you're looking for the feature of a dagger, it just has
Yeah.
that one just has the nick, so it doesn't really, it doesn't cause like an ailment.
So does that mean I can also throw my. Oh, I must have gotten rid of my other dagger at some point in time. I only have one. Never mind.
You can
So
grab
it's-
Okay.
Stowe's. He's not using it.
I'm
No,
so
throw
far
your
away from
dagger at
stuff.
Viola.
Okay, so that. What did I say that was? 6.
I heard
9,
12 damage
12 damage.
from throwing your dagger.
Yes.
Okay. As you first launch your crossbow and then you throw your dagger, and this one lands true into this bullywug, and it collapses to the ground with your dagger still in it. And this one, you see it drop a staff it was holding instead of a spear.
And then I know there's something. I just read it and now I can't find it. I apologize.
You're fine. If you were willing to let me go print a paper so I knew the stats of bullywugs, then I can let you
Okay.
look this up.
So then she's a remarkable athlete. So immediately after you score a critical hit, you can move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. She's just gonna back up out of that so she's not standing in that sticky, gross stuff.
Okay.
I'm
it
assuming
was,
15 feet can get her there.
half of your movement, yes, could get you there, even with the double
Okay.
movement in that square.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Next up then, Ste'yn.
Cool.
You guys are mowing him down.
Ste'yn's gonna
Heaven
move
forbid you let
up a
them go.
little bit, and she's going to cast Thaumaturgy for her action to get her a booming voice. As she says, "Back down or meet the same fate as your companions. If there's someone or something greater, let them make its presence known." And she's
What?
trying to intimidate them into backing down.
What if they
And
don't
leaving us
speak our
alone.
language?
Listen, it's still intimidating to hear someone just talking.
No,
at
I'm
you in a
not
very
saying.
loud
Yeah, from an
voice.
intimidation standpoint, definitely. I'm thinking of the person that's the strongest. He's over there just. Is that my cue?
Wait, they're too early. That line's too early. Ste'yn, roll persuasion with disadvantage.
Well, I think she's
Can't roll
aiming
for
for
intimidation?
intimidation because
Oh,
thaumaturgy
intimidation
gives
is its
you.
own thing.
Yeah, thaumaturgy
Yep,
gives you
and this
advantage
would
on
be-
intimidation,
Intimidation with disadvantage,
so it'd be
So then
straight.
it's just a straight roll.
or just a straight roll.
Okay. That is a 16.
Okay. Your voice goes booming through this swamp. The water shakes a bit on its surface. Grass sways and leaves and nearby trees move. And the response you get is a lot of that same kind of croaking and stomping of their little webbed feet and stomping of their spears. That doesn't do much because it's hitting soft ground, but they look mad and even potentially offended by your weird shouting, as if you can shout louder than they can, and their voices raise as well.
You're just gonna bring more of them,
Excellent.
Ste'yn.
Ste'yn's gonna look over at Beau and say, "Do better then," as she casts healing word.
I killed one of them. What are you doing? I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. Man.
Ouch.
Anyway, Beau, you're getting back. Let me see. Let me roll these hit points real quick.
And you're gonna tell
11 hit
me
points.
11 hit points. And you're gonna
Nice.
tell me you all voted for drunk Ste'yn over caffeinated Ste'yn? Y'all didn't even know. Y'all were missing out on the good stuff. Ste'yn gets really emotional when she's drunk, but she gets sassy when she's caffeinated.
I just have a lot of feelings.
So many feelings and no one to share them with.
I don't know what to do with them. My heart's racing so much. Anything else you're doing, Ste'yn?
No, we're good.
Okay. Snow, you're up.
Alrighty. He would like to. Well, first off, where did these come from? Like, did they come out of holes, or was like the vegetation was just like tall enough to hide them before?
They appeared to be coming out of the ponds, out of the water.
Out of the
pools.
water itself. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Alrighty. I am going to hold my action for something more for something
Powerful?
more. If I see something more dangerous than these things, I will cast Vicious Mockery on it.
Vaughn just shows up out of nowhere.
Based on
Please.
what would Snow believe to be more dangerous, as far as a bigger creature, a more aggressive looking creature?
Something that doesn't look like it's gonna fall in one stroke of Beau's dagger, for one thing. These are very easy to take out, so just anything that looks more powerful.
Try not to
Okay.
take offense to that.
Don't bother. Okay,
It's not
so you are
Big
holding
enough
your
for Snow to
action.
deal with.
No, here's
These are
the
beneath
here's the
me.
thing. I could kill one of these with Vicious Mockery, and I'd feel really bad.
You would feel bad, or Snow would feel bad.
Snow would feel bad. I wouldn't.
Let's be real.
Snow,
Tell the truth.
speaking for Snow, he would feel bad about insulting one of these creatures to death. But that's
Okay.
actually possible with the dice by how easily these things fall.
Okay. Fair
So
enough.
he's holding his action. If something stronger, more powerful, bigger shows its face, he will cast Vicious Mockery on it within 60 feet, because that's the range of Vicious Mockery.
Gotcha. All right. That makes it. Are you moving at all?
Yeah, just like right here. Nice and central.
Okay. Love it. That makes it our low rolling bullywugs turns. The ones who are still alive. We love being alive.
We
So-
do.
All about staying alive.
Hey.
Staying alive.
Staying alive.
Beau, the one in front of you that remains alive for the time being. Marking it up. Y'all, it got too warm in my house. I didn't think I'd ever say that. Beau, the one in front of you, turns around as if first its eyes are on its fallen companion, and then it whips its little head, not much of a neck in order to whip around, but it kind of whips its body over in your direction, spear in hand. And it tries to jam its spear at you. We'll keep using this die that has not been doing well, but we'll see what happens. Who knows? Oh, that's better. That's better for it. That's going to be a 19 to hit.
That's a miss.
Oh, okay. Boy, it sure tried. It kind of spits and then it tries again with a bite instead. Which is assuredly going to miss because it's lower than even a 19. So you just have this little froggy creature trying to stab at you and trying to bite at you. Beau, give me a quick perception check.
All right, 1 second. I'm gonna switch headphones real quick because I feel like
Sure.
something happened where it sounds like you're always only on my right ear and like left to my left.
Uh-oh.
But I feel like it might be a headphone thing
was
and
left
not
behind.
AU. So give me 1 second.
Sure.
I can't with the dad jokes. No more puns, please.
What, you want me to
What do
give
you
you an
mean
earful
no
of
more
them?
puns? That's how I knew it was
No.
Catherine doing the thing, naming the channel.
Okay, it was a headphone thing. Good thing I have headphones for days.
You have
Fantastic.
headphones for nights?
What I'm wearing a perception?
Yes, please.
Oh my gosh.
I did hear that. I'm ignoring. That's a 16.
16. Okay. As this creature is coming at you, Beau, you do spot a couple of areas on its kind of leathery skin where overall it's generally like this shade of, bland green. There are a couple of darker spots along it. They just don't seem like it's a natural spotting, a natural coloring on it, but you do see it in a few places. They don't look like proper whole circles or ovals. They kind of look almost like streaked a little bit, these darker areas on it. Something you notice while it's trying to bite at you.
Okay.
That's him. Next up, we've got hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay. One of the bullywugs in the back takes its spear. You see a kind of mean grin on its ugly little face as it chucks it in your direction, Beau. I'm gonna use a different die and see what happens.
Which one's throwing? This one back here?
Yes, the one that's on the other connected
Wow.
path.
He's got a good arm.
He does, little guy. Except that's not gonna do much. Yeah, that's only a... Is it the same with the ranged? It is. Yep. That's only a 10. As it launches the spear, and you see the spear kind of go wide past you and clatter. Not really clatter, but poof into the dirt. But his buddy seems to have a similar idea. What's their movement?
I'm guessing the buddy's this one.
Correct. The one behind you. Similar, but not entirely the same, as he's going to run up to you. Also attempting to take a bite.
You know, if we were adding the world of flanking today, you could put him here if we could also flank.
Huh. Should we add that right now?
Are they smart enough?
I don't know, honestly. That's a 22 to hit. Does that one manage it?
It does. He'll take it.
Okay. As he bites down on
Allowed.
you.
I mean, he could stop it, but I don't know if I want to use the spell slot.
That's fair.
That's the thing. It's just like, yeah, I could silvery barbs that, but like, you can take it.
That is 4 bludgeoning damage as it chomps
Yeah.
down on you. With its sharp
Exactly.
little
Not
teeth.
worth the spell slot.
It's
And
like,
then,
what is it, Mary Berries? It's not worth the calories.
ooh, and then with its spear, it's coming at you with a nat 20, though. For a 23 total.
I don't think I'm close
Eyes.
enough to sentinel that. Let me see.
Wait, how close you gotta
If
be?
only we had someone.
Let me check the range real quick.
Uh-huh.
30 feet.
feet.
Is it
You're
me
within
or the
range.
creature?
Okay,
if that's...
Oh, hey.
We're within range.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's-
Wow, got him. Ste'yn's always where she needs to be somehow. All right,
She
so it
is-
does not critically hit,
Super
but
attack.
it does normal hit. Normal hit for...
Let's see, my post-it reminded me of that.
Yay!
You're doing
7 damage.
Goes for the win.
And I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
My best.
My best feature.
That's a nat 1.
Here I was just thinking, surely you won't get a nat 1 on 2 of these so
Yeah.
close together.
So that was a nat 1, and then he gets +2, but then he gets -2, so it still equals out to be a 1.
That's what you get for making fun of my bullywugs. So you're going to take an additional 8 points. Wow, I rolled well on that one. 8
Maybe
points of
I guess I
poison
should have
damage.
shield.
Stop underestimating.
you after.
And you are poisoned.
Okay, I'll add it to the conditions.
I'm tired. I'm poisoned. Boy, I'm having a day.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
So I have a disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, +/-2.
Mhm. Okay.
You're
And
doing
then
great.
lastly. Wow, these guys are...
And this is
Yeah.
why you were asking if potions remove poison.
You know what does remove
maybe.
poison? Lesser restoration.
You know what?
Yeah.
Didn't prepare.
She's too busy. She's too busy meditating on her commands.
Oh no, it's because he's dead. That's why.
Exactly.
Because he's dead.
Sorry, I realize where I am on my own map. This guy over here on the bank, in this little bank between these two shallow pools to your right, you see him run. Let's see, what's his movement? Yeah. He's going to run up to Viola. And you see with his little
Don't forget,
amphibious...
he has 10 less movement.
Oh, right, because he's
Slowed.
I don't know how much
Slowed.
movement he has. I don't know that was probably only like 20 feet from where he was.
I'm guessing since they live in the
15 feet,
water, they
actually.
probably aren't as deterred from walking in it as we are.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
But if it's 10 less movement, they are little things and don't move very quickly. So he can only get to about... He'd only be able to get there.
Oh, there.
Haha.
But he will move, and he will still... Actually, yeah. He's going to try and... Let's see. Actually, whoop, don't grow. That'd be weird. I started stretching it out. My bad.
Of all the things we've experienced today, probably not the weirdest.
Honestly, though,
Just add water and it grows.
he's gonna try, as he is moving through the water and feels a little off from your previous attack. He takes out his own spear. He's going to try and hurl it at you, Viola. Oh, that was so close to a natural 20, and then it fell on a 2. So that's exciting. As that also goes wide.
What's your window of opportunity?
And then he's going to dive. Oh, no, he doesn't have any more movement, so he's not going to do that. He's going to chill there. This guy, on the other hand, his companion on the bank, you watch him run over here and pick up the... Sure, waddle.
That's just how I picture it. Sorry.
Waddle, waddle.
Yeah.
And he waddles away. Waddle, waddle.
And he snatches up that staff that the other one had dropped. You see him take that. Oh, I did a silly thing. That's what happened.
Dare you do a silly thing, Brenna?
I know. I'm just a silly goose.
You were supposed to be the serious goose today.
See, if only they hadn't come in early with their cue, I would have known what I was supposed to do.
Coming early, they're the last ones to go.
Sorry, I made the wrong hyperlink. And I saved the wrong part of it. I saved the effect of the staff and not the actual staff itself. My bad.
Sounds like a staffing issue.
We can add it to Beau's staff collection that he has going on.
You know, honestly. Where is it? Oh, it's fine.
There's a character in an anime called Mr. Gun who uses a bunch of like stabs for weapons and stuff like that to do magic.
Okay, there it is. Oh, is that all it does? Okay, cool. Just making sure. Okay. You see it pick up the staff and kind of gives a little look to the corpse next to it. And then it throws that staff, landing over yonders. Not terribly far, because it's already moved. But it's getting active. And you see where the staff lands, instead of kind of very stiffly, falling into place, it becomes very limber and very loose and starts to move on its own, curling and curving, widening, stretching, the tip of it splitting in two, and smoothing out to form a face and a mouth of a great python. I need a snaky token.
I'll go ahead and use my vicious mockery.
Oh, is that much more dangerous?
It's more impressive than these guys so far.
Fair. Hold on, let me find. Here's the snake.
Snick.
Snack.
Gonna be a pet snick.
Oh,
Leather and
how many
friend
squares
snack?
does huge take up?
15. Or it's
Like that?
It's
3 by yeah.
3 by 3. Yeah, it's a 15-foot. Yeah.
As this giant
Maybe not a
python
snack to
appears. No, keep snack. Are you in range of your vicious mockery?
Yeah.
Do it.
He's not far
Roll
away.
None of them are terribly far. I was actually a little afraid. I was like, I made this map was a 40 by 40, and I was like, are they gonna?
Yeah. I can reach anything on the map with my vicious mockery.
Yes. Go for it.
That would be a wisdom save from the snake.
Oh,
As Snow just
from the
calls
snake.
out. He's just gonna call out, "Down, boy."
Already on its stomach.
That is a 4.
All right, it takes 3 psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack roll.
Okay. Noted. Disadvantage. I don't know if it gets to act immediately, actually. It acts on the person's turn who summoned it. Oh, yeah. Taking its turn immediately after yours. Okay. Neato. That was the only thing that you had saved, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, it sure didn't like that. As it starts to slither in your direction, Snow.
Excellent.
Perfect, it's what I wanted. It moves over towards you. It will have disadvantage on this attack.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to lunge out you and attempt to. You see its head kind of go slightly around you, almost bludgeoning you with its body. Yeah, that's less than a 10. That's a 9 to hit.
It'll miss.
Oh no. You manage to dodge out of its way as it kind of tries to constrict around you, and then continues to hiss in your direction. And I
You're
think that-
beautiful.
We are back at the top of the initiative. Beau, it is your turn.
He's just going to, because it's daylight, right? You said?
It is cloudy, but you can see sunlight a bit.
Okay, that's what I thought. He's just going to use his bonus action to give himself steady aim to cancel out the disadvantage of the poison and attack the person that poisoned him. I just got the 4, so I know I'm missing with my attack.
Fair enough.
But my
You're doing so great
dagger,
tonight.
my dagger has the nick feature, so I
Okay.
can swing at it with that as part of my attack. But that one will have disadvantage. That would be a 1, a nat 1. For that.
Weird.
I'm gonna say that with Beau being exhausted, poisoned, and all around over it, that his dagger flies out of his hand and comes somewhere over here.
Oh, you can make another. Sorry,
Over where?
At the
Over
at
this,
the end of your turn.
Over this
You can make another
direction.
con.
A very bad swing. It just it slides out of his hand. Okay, another
Somewhere far off.
Okay.
Nora is giggling and she doesn't know why.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. That is going to be
I am not good on saving throws.
an additional 6 poison damage.
Okay.
Anything else, Beau?
No.
Okay. Viola, would you like to follow this up?
Can you roll for hate?
Hopefully.
Yes. Please give me a wisdom saving throw.
What?
Okay, so she's gonna move. If she moves up in front of her one more to be right next to them, is that in the difficult terrain?
No, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So she's gonna move right there. She's gonna switch to her trusty rapier and short sword, and she is going to start swinging at this guy.
Okay, make it happen.
Okay, so she's going to swing with her rapier. That is a 14.
14 hits. Roll your damage.
8 damage.
8 damage as you slice this thing to bits and it falls over. It does not stand up, sinking slowly into the mire.
She's just gonna move back to where she was. She is gonna go ahead and use her bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on the snake.
Ste'yn. What you got?
Excellent. Ste'yn, for her bonus action, is going to cast Spiritual Weapon. I believe that's still a bonus action. Yes. We're going to do bonus or do Spiritual Weapon and bring it up over here by Beau, who seems just be getting walloped by these bollywogs. And then we're gonna bap this guy on the head with the rose. That is a 19 to hit.
19 hits. Roll your damage.
Ooh, good damage. That is 11 points of force damage.
You bop this thing's brains out, and it collapses
Perfect.
to the ground.
Up next, because that was bonus action, for action, going to do Pull the Dead on this other guy by Beau. I need a wisdom save. That's not an attack roll, that's a wisdom save.
That's a 10.
Alright, they take damage. Ooh, nicely done. 14 necrotic damage.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, as you cast this and you watch it kind of disintegrate in necrotic magic, give me a perception check. And Viola, you can also give me one.
That's a 27.
That is a 19.
Viola, when you had gone up to attack the bullywug that was in that shallow pool, you also spotted some of those darker areas on its froggy skin, those imperfect kind of splashes on its skin that look darker. Saying you also noticed that, and you also noticed that as it is this kind of like deathly looking magic that is killing this creature, there's almost like a sense of familiarity, almost like it's already been affected in a way as it also died.
How's that, Beau? That's her turn. She's good. She's in a good place.
Yeah, she is. Caffeine going strong.
Bouncing on her toes a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Snow, you have a snake in front of you. It is big. It is
There's
huge,
a
in
snake
fact.
in my face.
Yes, and he,
Snake.
when the snake hisses at him, he sticks his tongue right back out at the snake. And he's gonna cast Dissonant Whispers on it. So I need it to make a wisdom saving throw.
Sure, the snake's gonna make a wisdom save. That's a 5.
Alright, it takes 11 points of psychic damage, and it must immediately use its reaction to move as far away from me as it can, using the safest route.
Safest movement for it would be back across the water. You watch it go into this more, this deeper pool, and its whole body writhing as it skims the surface of the water to reach the other shore to get away from you. Okay, anything else now?
Bardic Inspiration to Beau, which is a d8. I'll move like here.
You see these two run up towards that deep pool, and strangely gracefully, you watch them dive in, and you watch them dive into the water.
Cowards.
You did tell them to.
I did.
This last one here seems to have the same thought as Ste'yn. Like, as Ste'yn's like cowards, and you hear this gurgle from the one that's remaining over here, it has its spear drawn. I don't believe it has thrown a spear yet. I think. should've
I
marked
don't
it.
think it has.
I don't think it has.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because last time I threw down the staff and summoned the snake.
Yes. It's going to chuck that spear that it has at Snow. That is going to be a 21 to hit.
Silvery barbs.
Beautiful. That's disadvantaged.
We'll
Who
give
gets the advantage?
advantage to Beau because he's got disadvantage otherwise.
Would you believe it rolled the same thing twice?
Fun.
I I can.
So that's going to be 9 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
18.
As 2 points of poison damage as well. And then it is Snack's turn. It's gonna make itself comfy by its
Dominus.
handler. Top of the order, Beau. It is your turn.
I was gonna just throw a dagger at the psychic dagger.
Okay, go for it.
15.
15 will hit.
And that is 5 psychic damage. And then he's gonna use his bonus attack to throw another dagger.
Do it.
A 12.
12 just makes it.
Another 6 psychic damage.
Okay.
And that would be his turn.
Viola.
She's gonna move 5 to here. And then she's gonna get her 10-foot running head start. And she's gonna jump across this part of the swamp and land right in front of it.
Excellent. You are in front of Snack.
Okay, so then she's going to swing at it with her rapier first. That is a 15.
That hits.
And so she gets that, and she gets that. So that is 10 damage to begin with. And then she's gonna use her bonus action to swing with her short sword. Ooh, that's a crit, baby.
All right.
19 damage. And then she's gonna use her extra attack to swing at it again with her rapier. That is a 22.
22 definitely hits.
I need this. And that is 11 more damage.
You wail on this huge snake fearlessly, slashing at it like there is no tomorrow. It gives a terrible hiss of pain, but one final strike and you slice through it and it moves no more. It collapses to the ground. It doesn't move anymore on its own, I should say. You watch as it reverts back into this long staff, and then you watch as the staff just right in the middle just cracks and breaks.
Oh.
Viola, I wanted to have that.
We can tape it together. Wait, I don't know if tape exists. We
That's
can
not how
glue it together.
that No, you can't. The enchantment's
Oh,
gone.
I bet Gary
No.
can fix it. I put nothing past Gary and his connections to Ike A.
Oh,
Oh, should I have read poison, by the way, again?
Yes.
That's a 15.
Yes, you no longer feel the effects of the poison in you.
Okay.
Muscle up against it. Anything else you're doing, Viola?
Nope, she's done.
Okay, Ste'yn.
we're casting Sacred Flame at the last one. I need a dexterity save, please.
Yes, ma'am. There's a positive number on that one, but that only came out to a 3 because these dice are so cruel tonight.
Oh, darn.
They're so pretty.
That
so
is gonna
pretty.
be... That's 12 fire damage. No, radiant damage, sorry. Radiant.
Yeah, you watch as it is engulfed in a pyre of radiant energy, and not much is left when the energy fades.
Excellent.
And now we are out of initiative, as the four of you stand in this new little mass grave of bullywugs who thought they could step up to you.
I was gonna go retrieve his dagger, then start searching the bullywog.
Viola's
Excellent.
also going to go retrieve her dagger.
Is everyone
I
okay?
hit
Does
it.
anybody need healing?
I'm
How are we
good.
looking?
I could use some.
Snow?
Like, I'm fine.
Somehow I don't believe you sometimes when you say that.
I'm always fine.
One time very recently, you very much were not fine.
It seemed to be fine. Anyway, Beau is like actively bleeding out.
Yeah, Beau just swiped some blood that started coming out of his eye from the poison.
I'm all right.
I will go over to Beau and do her cure wounds.
Beau,
That's
you can roll
18
me-
hit points back.
I have it set
Beau, you can
aside.
roll an investigation if you are going to loot those baddies.
All right.
Viola is still going to go pick up the pieces of the staff and insist on putting them in the bag of holding to give to
Okay.
Gary later.
So I'm guessing a
2 pieces of the broken
9.
staff.
A 9, I'm guessing. Oh, wait, no, it would be a 7. I'm guessing that's not high enough. So he's going to use his Bardic Inspiration now.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Last time I rolled it, it was a 7. Now I rolled it and it's a 2. So that puts me up to 9.
Oh boy.
And then I'll use a psionic die if that's a failure. Is that a failure?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then there's a 5, so that brings it up to a 14. Do I pass now?
There you go. Yeah, go ahead and scratch that die. There isn't much on these little creatures. You see that there's, they have their spears on them. The spears appear to be kind of covered in swamp muck, but like very kind of neatly coated in this swamp muck. You also find on the one that had taken that staff from the other, you find so it's small enough that for you it would be like a ring, but on it's like almost like a bangle. You also find on one of these creatures a small blood red ruby. And you note on all of them that you look at, they all have those darker splash spots on their skin.
Viola's gonna look. She's gonna move over to where she saw the one jump in, like somewhere in this area. She's gonna move over onto the grass over here, and she's just gonna kind of look into the water and see if she notices anything.
Give me a perception check with disadvantage.
22.
You look down, kind of peer in, see if maybe it's still hiding there. You do note that this is one large pool and it goes up and away. You don't see their bodies. You don't see them in there at all. Imagine they might have swum off. You do see, however, that the water itself, it is dark and murky, but there's something else about it that kind of gives you the creeps a bit. It looks darker, some twinges of kind of like a sickly looking green mixed with like a black. Every now and then you see these like swirls of that just with the current of the water. It just doesn't look natural.
Okay.
And then for that bangle ring thing, does it look similar to the ones that are being passed out in Grati Minnow?
No.
Okay.
This just looks like on a normal person, it's a ring. They're just little.
Okay, I just didn't know. Snow, this one seems to have a red ruby thing. I'm not
All
touching
right,
it.
into the bag.
And
Snow puts it
stay
in
and
the
look
bag.
at the splotches on some of them, and maybe do like a medicine or nature check or something to try and see if there's any way to determine what it might be from.
Sure. I would allow either a medicine or a nature check, whichever one you'd like.
Cool. We'll do medicine because she has a good modifier for that one. There we go.
You want me to identify that ring as well?
If you think it has something.
On the topic of identifying rings, wasn't Viola's ring identified at some point in time? And I don't think I was ever told anything about it. That just made me think of that.
Were you not?
That's a 26 on the medicine check, by the way.
Well, Snow, are you identifying the ring then?
If Beau gives it to him to...
Yeah, he'll give it
Okay.
to him if
Okay.
that's...
I just figured we could do that. That's some simultaneous 10-minute
one-
action.
Oh, Ste'yn's doing something for 10 minutes?
Oh, well, she's going to be looking at these. I mean, it seems to make sense. You're staring, kind of trying to understand something. So I
I
figured
didn't
it might
think it
take a
was
few minutes.
dissecting.
I mean, it's
We
a
can do some
medicine
of that.
check. It could.
She's making some
Peeling off the
slides
bits
to
of
put under the
skin.
microscope.
Yeah, exactly.
Viola, what
no,
are
just
you
for
looking
convenience
at?
sake.
I was just looking into this water because one of the frog things jumped in here. I don't really see anything. It looks like gross water, but like I assumed that. That's why I jumped over it down there.
And Ste'yn, what you see, or what you notice about that, is that it looks like where that bit of skin is, that is darker. It's also almost like an indent, like it's been burned away almost. It makes you think of acid burns.
Interesting.
I'm just gonna
Snow,
go look at the water too.
Okay, you can also give me a perception check. Snow, you take your 10 minutes to identify this ring, and you note it is a ring of warmth.
Of
You
warmth?
take cold, yes. If you take cold damage while wearing this ring, the ring reduces that damage you take by 2d8. In addition, while wearing this ring, you and everything you wear and carry are unharmed by temperatures of 0 degrees Fahrenheit or lower.
Does it require attunement?
It
Yeah.
does.
It does, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyone cold? He says with no other
Why?
context.
Why?
I'm
Beau's got
cooler
a
than
cold
some of
heart
you, but
sometimes.
The ring helps with that.
Well, do you want this other pin contraption thing that I have for...
The wrist rocket?
No.
have
I
no
don't
idea
remember
what
what
you're
it's
talking about.
called. It's the one that gives you +1 to your constitution saves.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to
That'd be great.
describe that in world
Oh,
without
is that
just
from
saying
the,
it gives you +1.
You know,
Makes you feel a little stronger.
more endurance.
Yes. It
All right,
makes
well,
you feel a little
Beau-
bit more durable.
Beau will
Anti-fragile.
unattune and pass him that. Oh, and I got a 15 on that looking into the water.
Yeah, you look into the water and you see what Viola saw. You see that gross looking swirl of kind of a toxic looking green and black just going along with the current of the water.
Is that how it should look?
No, you've seen swamp water before. In fact, you've seen it a couple months ago. It did not look like, well, where you were, it did not quite look like that. You were also further, if you're following Nora's lovely cartography well enough, you were further north than this.
Something's wrong with this water.
I mean, I already said that it looks
Besides it being swamp water.
Something's giving these acid-like burns.
All right. I have an idea because we still have a little bit of the mind link left. I'm going to go in the water with a rope.
gross. Ooh!
With a rope.
Ooh!
And
Can
do
we
what?
see through it
What
through
it-
the water at all? Can we see through the water at all, or is it too?
You can see-ish, but it is fairly murky, just as you imagine swamp water might be.
I just want a better look. For all we know, maybe this is where the teleportation is.
That sounds like a terrible idea, but I'll come hold you on the other end of a rope.
All right, so maybe like 100 feet?
Is this? What are you hoping to gain from going in the water? I'm not necessarily against it. I just want to know what the plan is before you just jump into what could be dangerous water.
I want to see what's down there.
All right.
Whatever.
She goes
Viola
over-
ties 44 foot of rope to Beau.
40. I asked for 100.
So now
I
we'll
don't think we
provide
have
the
one
rest.
solid 100, so we're gonna have to tie them together anyways.
Right
can
before.
provide the rest.
But
Mm,
right before
pardon
you go into
further.
the water, Ste'yn's going to lay a hand on you for a second and give you resistance.
And
Oh,
Snow
dang.
will give you guidance.
All right, let me add.
And Viola will give you a firm
It just
pat on
lasts
the
for a
back.
minute, but
Oh, okay.
Like Viola just saw like Ste'yn put her hand on him for a second, then take it away, and then Snow does that. So
Yeah, it was
Viola's
just
like,
just as he
I will
starts unbuttoning
also-
his vest because he's gonna. Beau is
You
now
can
just
also have some bardic inspiration.
okay. So bardic
More
Being
inspiration
generous.
and guidance.
guidance. And
Beau is in his
resistance to
boxers
poison.
now, and he's hopping in.
The last time Beau dared to not be fully dressed was after you guys had escaped that river. Remind us, it is anything noteworthy of his appearance? Not that, I promise.
I mean, he still has the
This is
same
early,
like.
so I don't forget.
He still has
Under
like
window.
the tattoo on his arm, which everyone's seen. He has a pretty decently sized scar in the middle of his like chest, or like yeah, right underneath his rib cage area. There's like an expanding scar there. But beyond that, I mean, his skin's just as pale as everything else about him. So,
It was a pale
and then
person.
Beau hops in the water.
And the rest of us take a short rest.
I hope he's not coming down there for an hour.
He only
Yeah,
has a
me too,
minute of the
bro.
resistance.
You know.
So
Viola's paying very close attention to him, giving him slack when needed, but she's not just leaving the rope to sit there.
So, Beau, when you jump into the water, are you swimming out? Are you swimming downwards? Are you just kind of
Swimming
keeping yourself
downwards.
afloat? Okay, it's a fairly deep pool. It goes down goes down 10, 15 feet, 20 feet.
Oh, I guess he didn't need
It's
100.
uneven. No, we didn't need 100 feet.
We had no way of knowing it before.
After
True.
how far down does he get before we can't see him anymore?
Probably after about 10 feet, it's very murky. Are you going to find the bottom?
Yeah, he's trying to go. He's just going straight down, trying to see as much as he can.
It gets 20 feet. You can kind of feel a bottom, and you can feel it tilts further down as you're kind of moving forward and swimming. After about 15 seconds or so of your skillful swimming, you think it probably bottoms out at about 30, 35 feet down at like the deepest point, which is pretty significant. Then it kind of starts to come up a little bit. It just doesn't seem to go deeper than that. After about 30 seconds, it kind of feels like the water is kind of clinging to you a bit. It doesn't hurt at the moment, but it is just on you. It's like, this is thick water down here. The dirt and mud kind of kicking up where you get some stability. 45 seconds,
There's no
more
like,
of the same.
movement or anything like that happening.
I mean, just normal kind of current of the water. You don't see any creatures or things coming through. It's dark. You're coming up on that minute, holding your breath under the water. Well, you don't need to do that. You don't need to breathe.
Yeah, that's why he jumped in.
Handy.
So handy. Yeah, you come up on that minute, and you're just kind of observing, waiting, patience being tested. After about a minute, where the water is kind of clinging to you, definitely feels almost a little scratchy, a little stingy. It's uncomfortable. You wouldn't want to just take a spa day in this. Another minute goes by, kind of starts to burn a little bit more. Take 1 point of poison damage, please. Are you staying?
Nothing's changed.
Nothing noteworthy, like not aesthetically.
And he hasn't seen anything or anything like that the whole time.
Nope.
I guess then he'll start going back up.
You finally start making your way back up. Only takes you a few seconds to come up to the top. You're a bit further down from where you started, where you found that deepest part of the pool. But once you're up, you can see the others further down. Are you getting out of the water and walking back to them, or are you swimming back to them?
I just swim back. He's already in the water.
Spicy water.
Spicy.
More spicy water.
You guys, more spicy water. More water that bites. That's another
Pretty
4 points
spicy
of
water.
poison
And
damage.
now we have gross spicy water.
4 points of poison damage before you get an opportunity to come out of the water. And as you come out of the water, you're now covered in mud and water and swamp gunk on you.
I start using prestidigitation on at least the gunk.
Fair enough.
Well,
And
it's
Beau
just
returns.
water.
It's just
It's
water.
still gross.
I mean, a little bit of poison. But
Are you alright?
It's
It's
just
over-
water. It's only
it's over there,
poisonous
like-
water.
well, I didn't say
Examining
drink the
him, making
water.
sure he's okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Ste'yn is checking over Beau, making sure there's no visible signs of anything wrong or hurts or anything like that.
You can give me another medicine check.
Yeah, that's a 22.
Just covered in leeches.
It's true. He picked up a bunch of leeches on the way. No, doesn't look incredibly injured. Doesn't look nearly as bad as like the very notable spots on those bullywugs.
Well, do we want to rest up?
I think that'd be a good idea.
We can take a rest.
Sure.
And as you guys set yourselves up, sitting down, brushing yourselves off, healing up, whatever hit dice you want to use, before too long, you do see someone approaching you. A very tall figure.
During our short
Coming.
rest.
Is it during or
during your
after?
short rest. During.
Okay.
It is a tall, kind of lumbering figure that approaches you. About 8 feet high, very broad shoulder, broad chested, wearing some pretty simple, very practical leather clothing, leather tunic, thick pants tucked into some boots. Well, you note when the creature, person, gets closer, you note he has kind of a grayish blue tinge to his skin, kind of slight sheen on his skin, almost like a shined stone. He's got a large, rounded nose, kind of longer ears, thick, shaggy hair of auburn. He looks down at you with these very expressive hazel eyes. Looks like a very laid-back kind of fellow. Humanoid, but obviously not human. He sees the four of you. It does not appear to be threatening, though you do see a weapon strapped to him. He kind of looks over the four of you with a big, stony-toothed smile. Well, are you friendly, or you just don't like bullywugs?
I'm afraid they didn't like us much. Hello, I'm Snow. What's your name?
Snow, pleasure to meet ya. I'm Pernorin. You can call me Pear.
Pear?
Like the fruit.
Pearl?
Like the fruit, a lot like that.
Oh.
I get that a lot from travelers.
Delightful.
And you others are?
I'm Ste'yn.
I'm Viola.
That one's Beau. He's not as sociable as the rest of us sometimes. Most
It's
of the
also
time.
still just
he doesn't
drip
really like
drying.
to be social.
Is he still laying there in his boxer?
No, he's not laying, he's standing. He's not gonna lay
Like
while
his
he-
boxers.
Big difference.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet all ya. If you're wanting to have a more comfortable place to lay out or drip dry, we've got a place for ya.
Oh,
No thanks. The
kind of
last place
place?
we stayed didn't work out well for us.
I
he's
understand.
fine.
Well, if you'd rather stay out here, it's also all right. We've got travelers that come left and right all the time. Often they're looking for a place of refuge, you might say.
And
We're
what
looking
kind
for
of
a place.
Yeah,
Can I
what-
help you?
what kind of refuge are you offering? Is it an inn? Is it an encampment? Is it a homestead?
Well, we've got a little colony not too far. Actually, right down there. You can't see it, just because.
Is that the... It's a little bit hazy, a little bit wavy. Is that protecting it? Disguising it?
He turns, looks back in the direction that he came in, and you can still see that haziness is further back from you all. He looks back at you. Is that what you see? I think everyone sees a little differently.
Oh, that is.
As long
so
as we're not
fun.
interfering with the swamp, then we're happy.
Why do you like the swamp?
So the whole place is camouflaged, essentially.
Aye,
That's amazing.
we do what we can to not be interfering, as I said. We just want to watch. That's what we do.
Why?
It's our home. It's where we've been for so long. Got to keep
What
it
do you
safe.
watch?
We watch all of it. It's in our area. We watch for trouble. We watch for travelers like yourselves. Sometimes they're not as trustworthy as we'd hope, but take your losses. We always end up fine, and they end up wherever they're gonna end up. What are you for traveling out here? You look like a decent group. Adventurers?
That's us.
Huh? Is there a bounty or a adventure that's called you to the swamp? Or are you just passing through?
Bit of both. Bit of a lot of things. What's the name of the place we're looking for?
Where's the map?
I
Yeah.
thought the place we were looking for was like a secret.
Well, that would make sense since the whole place is disguised. So
Yes.
it's probably the same
You
place.
were looking for us.
Possibly.
That depends.
Can I
Do
make
we
an
need some
insight
kind
check
of
on him?
Do you need some kind of password?
Yes.
Okay, then you're probably the place.
He laughs a little.
Ooh, that's a good roll. That's a 30.
And what are you insighting? Checking.
Looking for if he is holding back information, if he is
Like we should be.
trying to deceive us in some way. Basically looking for any ulterior motives or reasons to think he's not being genuine.
You listen to him speak and laugh and talk to you, and he seems incredibly genuine. He seems very much like he is happy to help, and perhaps he has had people who have come through, as he said, that were less kind, but it clearly has not stopped him from offering to see what travelers need.
Very well. You seem trustworthy to an extent.
Oh, glad to hear it. Maybe I
So
can change that.
friendly.
I should hope so. I'm sure adventurers don't need any more trouble. You got a whole
We seem to
swamp full
attract a lot of
bullywugs.
trouble.
So wait, if you just let anyone in, what's the point of a password?
I didn't say I was letting you in. Just like that. Plus you offered the password. So what you got?
You offered us to come stay before we even mentioned we're the ones who brought up the password.
And you said that you already
Good
had
thing you
people
did.
stay.
Of course we've had people stay. You think you're the only ones. They had the password.
All right, so what if we just give you the password and then we can just go instead of just talking about the
It
password?
was ha no ra.
He pauses for a minute as you say that. And he looks at you, Beau, and a little smile forms on his lips again. Oh, you know her.
Nora?
Nora?
Captain Nora,
Yes.
Solon? Yes.
She's great.
I guess that's how she wants to go. It's not my business. But yeah. If we're talking about the same person,
Does she
Said
have
name
another
anyway.
name?
That's the name I was given.
What does she look like?
Let's see, a frail little thing.
That's
All
her.
right, well, that's her.
Oh, well, I guess you come across a lot fewer frail things. All right. Well, if you know her, I hope she's doing well, if you've seen her.
Mm.
Oh,
She was well when we
she's-
left.
She's hanging in there.
Oh, that's good. When she first came across us, didn't look so great at all. But, well, when's the last time you saw her? I haven't seen her in,
What
had
day
to
is it?
be... Aye. Days can be hard to track. I have to think about it. But we're in the middle of the,
All right, are we going back to your
Yeah.
place?
bugs. Oh, sure. Yeah, that works. Sounds like you've got good connections. She's a good girl.
She is.
Yeah.
She's trying very hard. We appreciate her very much.
I hope she's slightly less frail within the last year. Come along, let's go. He turns around and starts walking back down that path towards that haze that you can see. He doesn't seem perturbed by it at all. And as you reach the bridge, the start of this bridge, he just starts walking across and kind of disappears into that haze.
Snow follows immediately behind.
Weird.
Let's go.
Viola continues to follow.
Stay and waits for Beau to go through so he's not left behind this time.
Okay, Beau goes.
Stay with the group.
No more Fae deals.
Assuming that he's able to, he goes through.
He feels a little shock as he walks through.
Ooh.
That's what I
His hair
mean.
stands on end. No. Yeah, Beau goes through and then Ste'yn follows.
Yep.
And you guys find yourselves walking to the other end of a bridge in relatively short time. Pernorin is not too far ahead of you, and he stops at his end of the bridge. And what you see in front of you is a short walkway down to a large colony, is what it looks like. It's this like kind of misty, like serenely misty colony. All of the homes, all these buildings are either elevated on stilts with bridges, like walkways to go across over mud and deeper water, or some look more like tree houses that are built up into kind of old looking trees. Not too far from where the bridge is, you can see this one kind of standalone large building. It looks like it's tall. It kind of reaches out some 30-40 feet, and it looks like it has a more sturdy foundation. This one is not lifted up. And Pernorin looks at you all when you catch up to him. Well, welcome. Over here we've got a guest house. You can stay there. We sort of take turns taking care of our guests, and I guess since I found you, it'll be my turn. Be happy to get you anything you need. Make sure you've got some beds for as long as you want to stay, and food. Make sure you've got clean water. Don't go drinking the swamp water. It's not good for you. Not now. Don't do that.
Have you noticed anything different about the swamp water in recent times?
Oh yes. Oh, the swamp's no good. Not now. The swamp's been sick.
However long has
Yeah.
that been going on?
Oh, unfortunately, it's been getting worse over some years.
Really?
Slowly but surely, getting worse. But this isn't fun conversation to have just as soon as you're coming in. We want you to have a good time while you're here, for as long as you want to stay. We can get you food, get you set up. And if you'd like to stay with me and my wife, we'd love to have you for dinner. Get you settled in. It's a little
Thank
early.
you so much, Per. That's very hospitable.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help. But you'd be welcome to walk around. You'll see some other folks. They'll know you, obviously you're not from around here, and I'm sure they'll say hello and point you where you need to go. But there's some... You'll notice some people walking about, more like sentries, guards, keeping an eye out for anything unsavory. But further in, we've got more residential area, we've got more houses, and a little marketplace. We don't sell much. It's more for each other. But if you spot something you like, you're welcome to make a deal with someone, trade, whatever it is you need to do. But
And do
Yeah.
you guys have any, like, I don't know, teleportation circles here?
Right to it.
Afraid not. We're not that fancy.
Do you have
Do you
anyone
know
that
of any in the area?
Teleportation circles.
Yeah.
You really are adventurous. Well, I couldn't tell you. I'm not an expert in the arcane myself, but there's definitely some magical odd happenings not too far from here.
is there
Something
someone
else we keep
here
an eye
that
on?
is good at magic?
I'm sure we've got our sentries. A lot of them are skilled because they have to go out there.
Skilled enough to teleport somebody themselves, perhaps.
I suppose they'd have the skill. You're looking to use it. You know about whatever's going on out there. Perhaps I could learn a lot from you as well. And it's our good fortune you came our way.
Certainly hope so.
Then we'll have a lot to discuss when we eat, huh?
That sounds great. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Ste'yn, right?
Yes.
Well, it's lovely to have all four of you. Here, let me help you get settled. If you want to have a sit down. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You looked like you were settling in, but it didn't seem nearly as comfortable out there. So,
No,
on
this
in,
seems
come on
much
in.
better. Thank you.
And he guides you to this little guest quarters. It looks kind of like a barracks, but you're the only four there. There are a handful of beds. It's like 20 of these beds laid out. They have like small walls between each one, kind of act like shelving as well if you want to place something down. Little table next to each one. There's a couple of like kind of communal pitchers that are full of this water in these copper containers, these pitchers, and you can see the water kind of condensating on the side of it. And there's some very rustic looking artwork above some of the beds and little flowers that are blooming in a couple of vases around the room. There are some windows you can see out, and the view isn't much, but you do get that kind of misty, serene view in your little quarters. You're welcome to take any of the beds you like. If there's food we can offer, you're welcome to it. But like I said, you're welcome to join us for dinner tonight.
We would love to. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anything I can get you to make you comfortable?
I think we're all right now. We appreciate it, though. You've been very kind.
Happy to help. Won't have my reputation sullied. Not when there's people out there traveling and doing the real hard work. Don't listen to those folks when all they do is keep their noses in books. We like to see people getting out there and putting that practical to use.
I agree. Got to
All
put this
right.
to use very much.
Well, glad y'all are safe. And again, if you need anything, just ask for Pernoran. I'll be in. My home is one of the first ones when you hit the residences.
Excellent.
All right. We'll see you soon. And he
Yes.
turns around and makes his way out.
Well, this is delightful.
Yeah.
Beau, do you
Let's
like
just-
anything?
Take that rest we were trying to take, heal up a little bit, get ourselves ready, and then we can figure out what to do. What are your concerns, Beau?
What?
What are your concerns? You don't seem pleased.
Does he ever seem pleased?
I'm not going to answer that because that would be rude.
I'm just thinking maybe we're wasting our time in this swamp. Now that I'm here.
Well, it's too late. We're here now.
We're here, so we might as well spend a little
Look
time
around.
figuring out what we can here.
And it's obviously connected somehow. He was telling us about some magical odd happenings nearby. So that's
Mhm.
probably got something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of odd magical things, though, I realized that I never told you about the ring that you wear that I identified like forever ago. So it's very interesting. It's a magical housing of sorts. There is a soul inside of it.
What? Are you telling me there's a person stuck inside my ring?
How sad for them.
Soul.
Well, it didn't seem. There wasn't like bad vibes from it, like they were trapped. Weirdly, very warm and comforting. So maybe it was done intentionally. Lots
Was
of
getting warm the other
abjuration
night.
magic, so very protective.
So what does it do?
The owner of the ring can ask for assistance from whatever entity is inside, and it will help in some way. I guess depending on what kind of assistance you ask for. So that's pretty wild.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah, make sure to
Yeah,
put that
so where'd
soul
you get
to
that
good
from?
use.
It was my mom passed it down to me. It was my great grandmother's.
Or maybe she's still in there.
That sounds wild.
I mean, yeah, it's like nice in a way, but it's also kind of like weirding me out just a little bit because I feel like she's been like spying on everything I do, and I don't love that.
I mean,
Watching
probably
you
not.
while you sleep.
Yeah, see, that's the vibe that I'm getting, and I don't love that. But like, hi, great grandma. Like, I hope you're okay. Viola's like looking down at her ring and like talking to it.
Beau's gonna do message. I'm fine.
Does Viola know that's coming from Beau or no?
Just give me a straight intelligence check.
14.
You don't know how magic works. It sounds like it feels kind of familiar, like when Beau's used mind mail, but also you don't know how the ring works. Like it could be what's inside.
Oh my gosh! I think it just talked to me in my head.
No. What
What
did
did
it
it say?
say? When she's trying to remember, he's gonna send it up. If you tell them you're done.
Do we see Beau casting the spell, as it does have somatic components?
So he extra
and materials
point,
of
so he's positioning himself so that she can't see him.
it. Right,
but-
but the rest of us.
Yeah, he's not
Doesn't
really
care if the rest see.
Actually, you know, you might try and sleight of hand it, maybe,
Okay. Sleight of hand it.
or
Go for
like, okay,
I'll allow. I'll allow.
like he's
perception.
not super concerned about them seeing it, but
Sure.
that is a
In lieu of rolling,
19,
can I use my
17.
passive?
Yeah, because you don't know what's going on. Yeah, that makes sense.
I got
Passive
17.
makes sense.
Alright,
So,
she has a 20 passive.
Okay, so Ste'yn sees it.
Viola just like slowly takes the ring off, and I'm assuming there's like a night table, like a nightstand. So she's just gonna set it on the nightstand, and then she's just gonna like sit on the floor in front of it and look at it. She doesn't say anything to anybody.
What's the matter?
I can't tell you.
Oh.
Oh,
Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive. Just leave me with my thoughts for a bit. I'll be okay.
Gonna send another one. I miss you.
The best part is staying just letting this rock.
Ste'yn's just gonna brush her hand through Viola's hair a little bit and just be like, I'm sure it's all okay. I'm sure that's whatever it's saying to you is going to become very kind very soon.
Wait, with the message, Viola can respond to it?
She
Yes?
can if she
Mhm.
she
So,
can.
after the third time, she is gonna try and be like, "Are you gonna kill me?"
Silence.
Left on red.
Is she hearing silence, or did he say silence back to her in the creepy
No,
voice?
it's just no response.
Oh,
So
okay.
is going to spend a charge from his medallion of thoughts. He's looking at the ring first.
It could do surface level something like a detection, like using detect magic or detect thoughts rather. Will lean to the benevolence that Snow mentioned. Like it would help, but I don't think much further it could go. Like maybe not a deep dive for now.
Sure. So Snow can tell that like there is a presence there, and it
Yes.
is like the emotional state being like, yeah, there's something benevolent there, but
Yeah,
there's nothing more to glean from it than that.
yeah. Let's go with that.
Just the fact that there
Without
it is.
without activating the magic of the ring itself.
Sure. He's gonna switch it over to Viola then and see what she's thinking.
Surface level thoughts. What you got?
I feel like she's freaked out Like you can definitely tell emotion-wise that she's like kind of
Didn't need
losing
to take
it.
thoughts for that.
And
What a waste.
I feel like visually she's probably just like picturing like she has the ring on and just is like her body explodes.
You see her
Because she doesn't
nightmare.
know how else a ring would kill her, but that's what she's like thinking about is the ring killing her. So I feel like that's probably the image that would come to mind. Viola, go boom.
Viola, I don't think it's malicious in any way. The presents seem to be quite benevolent.
It's I don't want to tell you. It told me not to tell you.
I think if it tells you anything else soon, it's going to tell you that you're free to tell your friends what it is saying to you, because it'd be unwise for it to continue to threaten someone who has ways with life and death. And Ste'yn gives Beau a very pointed glance as she's saying this.
It's very calm of her for being so caffeinated.
Viola just like looks, she's just like gets really close to the ring and is like looking at it at eye level, and she just like whispers, "Are you gonna kill me?"
Maybe. Beau says dynamite.
I'm so
Well,
scared.
you can't kill me if I never put you back on.
Viola, can you not tell it's me? You
What?
said it.
Viola walks over and punches Beau in the shoulder.
Acceptable.
Then she'll walk over and put the ring back on, and she'll look at Beau and say, "That was really, really mean." And
I thought it was kind of funny.
you knew and you didn't tell me.
To be fair, I don't know what he was saying to you, only that he was casting something, and it was kind of funny. And then I had an excuse to threaten him, and I felt like that was actually very nice to have as well.
You guys are so mean to me. You know what? I actually don't need a rest because I didn't get hurt in the fight, and I didn't use any of my things that I could
Your
get back
things.
today from a short rest. So,
I'm glad you're taking good care of yourself. That's admirable.
well, you know what? Me and my newfound friend, that is my great grandma, are gonna go for a walk then.
Don't get lost.
Viola. I won't. I have a great
Well,
sense of direction.
Are you sure you could go? We should go walking around here alone.
Viola doesn't respond to Beau and she leaves.
Stay close.
Don't
I
go too
will go
far.
far.
We're gonna have to go into Viola hands later, aren't we?
Well, the mind link's still up.
For now.
Well, it won't be by the time we're done with the rest.
During the rest, I do attune to the heart pin.
From where you had seen the sun kind of peeking through the clouds, it was early afternoon when you made it out of the Fey realm. So you're taking another rest. It's been another hour or so. Not
We're
too
back to
far from an
full.
early dinner hour.
Before we go exploring during the short rest, at some point, Ste'yn's, or right after it, Ste'yn's going to go and sit by wherever Snow is, and she's going to say to him in Celestial, because she remembered that they both know that, and it's kind of cool. What happened when you died? Did I make a mistake in bringing you back? Were you happy?
Why are you worried that it'd be a mistake?
Because it's not something I've done before. And pushing boundaries
Maybe.
between life and death.
It's the
I've always said
opposite
what's
of
dead should stay
what
dead.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what you normally do.
It is.
So why'd you do it?
I couldn't lose you. Not like that. Definitely wasn't something you'd earned in a battle like that.
I mean, I did die in battle. Is that not what the things that you often kill do?
Not in that way. You have so much more of a story to tell, as you would probably put it, and it couldn't be cut short like that.
That sounds a little subjective of you.
Well, if it's power that I can wield, then I can choose how to wield it.
I agree. I'm glad you think so too.
But you still haven't answered the question.
No, I wasn't happy. It felt wrong. Somehow.
Interesting. Never talked to someone who's come back from the dead before. The afterlife is very much a
Hello.
mystery.
I certainly do my best. It was not an experience I would recommend. If you ever think of trying it, don't.
I have no intention of trying death for an experience. I mean to live, because that's what I will do until it is one day rest, that is. Granted. But you sure you're alright from that?
I have things to do.
That doesn't answer the question. You're good at avoiding these questions today, you know that.
I'm good at avoiding a lot of things. But no, I am answering the question though. That's how I feel. I feel like I have things to do. It's not, like you said, my story's not over yet. There's so much more to see and to do and to...
I'm glad it worked. And she, in her slightly awkward way, wraps an arm around Snow's shoulders and gives him half a hug, a side hug.
Snow will return it. I have a
So I'm
question
guessing
for
that
you two.
gibberish over there that you're talking about is touching.
Snow will call over in Elvish. Immensely. Back in Celestial. I have a question for you too, though.
Alright.
You said, I think that was earlier today, although time is a bit of a weird soup.
I'm just a
But-
very weird soup these days.
I believe it was earlier today that you said that you don't know how to dance. Would you like to learn?
Ste'yn looks very confused for a second. And
If
then
we
shrugs.
were back at the festival, there was a dance contest, and I wanted to partake in it. But that's not
Yeah.
going to happen at this point. So you
I
want to learn how
suppose
to
that
dance?
would be fun.
That's the spirit.
I need something to do with this energy anyway. I was going to take a lap around the building.
Let's teach you something upbeat. Snow will use minor illusion to make music, and the somatic components for that will be his own dance.
Okay. So you'll use this time to teach her how to dance. How much time are you guys utilizing? You're just using the time until you're kind of called for dinner?
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
something else.
Cool.
No,
Bo
yeah, unless
sees
there's
them
something else to do.
dancing, Bo's going to mind link to Viola to come back. He's hoping that he'll have somebody else to make jokes about Ste'yn's 2 left feet.
Ste'yn is quite dexterous, I'll have you know.
I mean, she
Viola,
doesn't know
do
how to
you-
dance. Our first time dancing. I can't imagine it being graceful and also in armor.
The armor would make it worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Viola, while taking a walk through this little colony, this little village, and there's plenty of these bridges, and a lot of them you note have these like vines with flowers that are tied around all of the arm handling, the railing ropes, and little blooms coming up between the planks between them. And it's not very active outside, but you do see more of these very large, between 7 and 8 feet tall, either kind of gray, blue skinned, or a more like greenish tone to their skin. These creatures, these humanoids that I don't imagine you've seen them before. But you do see a few of them meandering about. Very often, if you ever catch eyes with any of them, they'll wave politely and then go about their business. You're kind of nearing the center, and you can see a little further out there is you see the start of some houses. But in the center, you do see a number of these stalls set up. Right now, they seem to be relatively empty, but a few of them have some folks setting a few things up, whether it's food or baubles of some type, a very eclectic mix of things in this little marketplace. And as you're approaching it, in your meandering, you hear Beau's voice asking you to come back to the guest house.
Well, before that happened, she wanted to look for a quiet place that she could like sit with her ring because she wants to try something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you could find any corner, any spot. There are a couple of benches on some platforms that are throughout the village. Yeah, you can find a spot.
Okay, so she's gonna sit down on one of those benches, and for part of the time, she's just gonna kind of like sit and look at the ring, and she's trying to just like remember anything that she can about her great grandma Lyric, who was the original owner of the ring, which is who she's assuming whose soul is in it. And she is thinking about the fact that Snow said she could ask it for assistance and the ring would help in some way. And in her mind, she's just thinking about not necessarily a question, but like kind of a question as to whether or not they as a group are on the right track, and if they're following the path that they should be following, maybe even more herself than like the group. And she's just like wondering if the ring will give her any sort of response to that. If it gets warm, if it's is gonna talk
What
to
do you think
her,
it is,
and
a
the Beau
magic eight
thing
ball?
wasn't Beau, or I don't. Well, that's like
A magic
that's
8-ball
what came to
ring.
mind for her. That's what she can try right now. She doesn't need any healing. She's not making a roll of any sort that she's trying to ask for help with. So
Okay. You are making a roll. I'm going to need you to make an Arcana check for me, please.
Oh no.
okay, she rolled a 13.
You can use your inspiration.
Okay, then she's going to try and use her inspiration then. Are you freaking kidding me? It's still a 13.
Oh, no.
She rolled the same thing twice.
Oh boy.
You could use your
Oh,
tactical mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna check off a second wind for that.
And now you have something to get back with your short
That-
rest.
18.
You concentrate and you're thinking about, it's not so much an individual question, but a series of questions that are just storming your mind and storming your heart, kind of hopeful that in your hand you have the key to this family that's been kind of an odd point in your life. It has highs and it has lows, and unfortunately those lows can be pretty intense. You think about it, and the ring does feel warm again as you are thinking about this. It feels warm. It feels like you're not sitting alone. And you get the sense that you could start to kind of control it. So you have the ring on your sheet. You unlock, so to speak, one of the features that this ring has. And it comes to make sense to you a little bit as you're sitting there concentrating. This feature is called Story of a Soul, very much like a soul cage. You ask the soul a question, there's no action required. Receive a brief telepathic answer, which you can understand regardless of the language used. The soul knows only what it knew in life, but it will answer you truthfully and to the best of its ability. The answer is no more than a sentence or two, and it might be cryptic. Although, you get the sense that it is very benevolent and it will do its best to answer fully.
Is that just like once per day, once per life?
It is limited. I just have to find
Don't
my
kill
notes
my
on
grandma.
No,
You'd be killing your grandma, not us.
I'm gonna find the definitive notes and tell you how many times.
Okay.
Slowly killing Granny.
Just for answers to questions. At least, or at most, probably. No, at least once a day.
I don't think Viola's going to ask it a question just yet, but she will finish her little walk, and then once she hears from Beau, she'll head back.
Oh, she is gonna listen to Beau. Not mad at him anymore.
She can't be mad at Beau for long. I don't think she can be mad at anybody for long besides, like,
Aw,
freaking, what's his name?
Amos.
Yeah, that guy.
Viola,
For
it's like
years.
watching a flamingo crossing a tightrope. Get back here.
Viola starts busting out laughing wherever she's walking in public. And then she just doesn't address it to anyone that may be nearby. She just keeps walking and, like, waves. Have a nice day.
You too, sweetheart.
Archer, stop.
No, don't stop, Archer. Yeah, you make your way back and find Ste'yn and Snow. Snow artfully teaching her how to dance. Ste'yn, please give me a performance check. Your baseline is disadvantage.
Cool.
Can I give her inspiration and
You may.
guidance as well?
Okay, that's not too bad. Let's see. 19 before I add Bardic Inspiration. Got up
But
to a
as far
25
as-
with Bardic Inspiration.
There we
Close,
go.
Close. You take his lessons very well. You only step on his foot like twice in the beginning before you finally remember that you step back at that part of the dance, and then you move side. And
He doesn't
you-
get the whole
Does
let
she want
him
to
lead
lead?
part.
She's kind of used to leading, yeah, and so she keeps mimicking you instead of mirroring you. The steps are overall just, for a beginner, you're new to it, so you have a kind of clumsy stiffness to you, but you follow the steps very well. It just looks like you're marking every step, and so it's very clunky, but it's correct. As Ste'yn wants, she is correct. It's just not the showmanship she wants, but she's learning. So when Viola returns, you see Snow, spinning and turning, meeting Ste'yn again, the two coming together again, and Ste'yn kind of box stepping forward and backwards, and her turns are like quarter turns to make a complete turn.
You're
muted.
are a natural, my friend.
Viola
It
makes
would-
like kind of like a pained face and is like, it's really good.
You
Dude,
would
Beau had
be-
hoped Viola knew some proper dance forms to make this kind of judgment.
You would be a little bit more elegant, as I know you can be without the armor weighing you down, but you're picking it up pretty quick.
This is interesting. Fun, I think.
There you go.
Now, whenever we get our fancy clothes from Perula, then we can go really dancing.
I forgot that was a thing.
I never
did.
forget about a nice
Perula
dress.
lives where again?
Zaylee?
Zaylee?
Not here.
Well, why don't we go to Zaylee then?
Is that where Helena is? Because we do need to go see her.
I'm still hoping she'll come find us.
I don't see that happening.
I don't either, Ste'yn. I love you, but I feel like that might be lost hope there.
So
much
how
longer
about
until
it?
Dinner?
To Zaylee? Tomorrow morning?
Well, I don't think we should. No, I don't think we
Oh.
should leave here just yet.
Why are you so eager to leave after we've been talking about being here and things we need to try and do here for a couple days?
Well, it's
What's changed?
That's very pointed accusation, Ste'yn.
Your attitude has changed. So I will be pointed with my accusation, asking what has changed, because it's coming from a direct observation of you.
When is that
Yeah, your
caffeine
right
where-
foot, not your left.
Right, left, right.
Your left.
Helena informed me that there may be a town near Ustrom that might be wiped off the map soon. Kind of. A little bit.
And
Oh?
you were going to share this with us when?
Figured we would get to Zaylee and then maybe move around some, and then who knows, we just might end up in that town organically and we can get those villagers out.
If they're in danger, shouldn't we try to like maybe fix that like quickly?
Well, that's what I'm
In
meaning
danger?
about leaving. Tomorrow
Organically is
morning.
not that
Hey.
quick. We don't move very quickly.
Yeah, well, I was
Yeah.
thinking
Oh.
organically, but kind of pushed.
So well, this might work out then. If we can talk to some people here and find a way to activate a teleportation circle, maybe there's more than one. Maybe they have a link somewhere else we could use. That way we're not trying to walk. I don't want us to try and go through the Fey realm again.
Well, that's why
No.
I asked if they had a wizard that can do it. But allegedly, they have somebody.
So maybe after dinner or at dinner we can ask him some more about who we should talk to, and then tonight or tomorrow morning we can go find this person and ask some more questions.
Yeah, how about we find them tonight and then go off tomorrow morning?
Do you
Well, it
have
depends
more
on
details?
time.
Yeah. Is there more information you can give us that you're not? Because the level of urgency we need to take will depend on the details with which you give.
Helena was, I would say, tasked, but technically, it was somewhat of her best interest to not have towns just disappearing off the map.
I don't think that's a good thing for anybody.
Yeah, well, especially for a tradeswoman. So she's been keeping
Right.
her people with ears open for when that would potentially happen. And she just got news that it's happening in, what was the name of the city?
Loria.
In Loria.
1 second. And Ste'yn's going to cast sending to Helena.
Okay. What do you say to her?
Everything you know about Luria now, if you want us to move and stop it from being destroyed.
Doesn't trust
Full
Beau.
details.
In 25 words, full details.
You can convey a lot in 25 words if you're careful with your words.
I don't know about this one.
It's
So
also
you said
harder when you're put on the spot.
true. You do get a response.
Beau doesn't listen well. You have some time. Plus, there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop it. A warning, maybe, to your family.
I already would have told her the better strategy to circumvent this.
What?
Beau already had a tactic to circumvent this. He would have told her. I've told you.
Well, I mean, she doesn't like. I don't remember. I know he's not going out there to like actually go and stop it from happening. It's more a matter of like get
I
ahead
would
of
be
it.
going there to do things to mitigate losses, but physically being there.
That's a decision. Doesn't mean she agrees, but it's just a decision one could make. Plus, the focus there would be that you have some time, but that's up to you, the urgency. But that's your response.
All right. Apparently, we have some time, whatever some means. Helena doesn't think we can stop it. We could get a warning out. Perhaps.
Well, no. Helena just doesn't have a lot of faith. Trust.
Does she have some pixie dust? I imagine she likes pixie dust.
This is serious.
I'm sorry, the thoughts, I just have them, and it goes from serious to silly, and they just come out right now, and...
You're never allowed to eat whatever that lady gave you ever again, Ste'yn.
It was nothing to eat, it was nothing to drink, it was quite nice.
Okay, drink. Never happening again. Eat, drink.
I can't
none of
hear
it.
you, Snow, if you're talking.
I was just thinking we need to get more of it.
No. Terrible idea. We also don't know the repercussions. She could be exhausted for days now after.
We'll cross that bridge or burn that bridge when we get to it. Right now, if we have some time, let's start by taking an evening to plan and figure out whatever information we can here where we are relatively safe for the time being. I don't think that'll last long, knowing our luck.
You're not
And then
wrong.
we can try to move out. She also said you don't listen well, though, which I kind of agree with.
She doesn't listen. If she thinks that we weren't gonna, well, at least I'm not going there. I only went to the guardianship to kill time until she found something.
Wait, I'm...
And aren't you so glad you did?
How reliable are Helena's sources, Beau? What percentage certainty would you give this that it's actually happening or not happening?
I would say it's definitely going to happen. And I would say about, I'm 95% sure that it would be in the location that her people caught up on. Don't you have family up there?
I do, but I don't see how that's relevant.
Are you not concerned about them?
Not really.
Is
I
it
was
the...
gonna say, I
Wow.
don't think the ones that are
Yikes.
left up there she's super concerned about.
They've made their choices, so have I.
To what extent are you unconcerned about them? Like you don't care if they die?
I'm imagining Snow
This
and
is-
Ste'yn still at least standing together, and he'll give her hand or arm a squeeze.
I don't know. Been having a lot of complicated feelings about them lately. I'm not ready to sort through all that.
I mean,
I
it
don't want the
doesn't-
children to die.
Okay,
That I can't stop thinking about Vivia and Cadence as we're having this conversation.
well, can't we get a message out to Vivia in the meantime?
I could do that. Ste'yn's going to return the little squeeze into his hands, and then she's going to cast Sending to Vivia.
Okay. To Vivia specifically.
Yes.
She is
Okay.
alive. This
Let me
one
know what you
certainly
say.
won't startle her.
Hello, Vivia. It's Ste'yn of Vivere. I hope you're all right. I've heard some scary things have happened. I've spoken to Glia. I want to help.
It is very quiet on the other end of your sending. But you do get a sense that it reaches its destination, and you think you hear, though probably thanks to the magic, you hear words. But even clear with magic, you can tell with your own perception, your own understanding, that the words are strong because they're heartfelt and because it's magic, but it doesn't necessarily speak to the condition of the person speaking.
Ste'yn? Oh, scared. I'm really scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I am. Ow, it hurt.
And silent.
Vivia's alive. She's scared. Thinks she might be hurt. Doesn't know where she is. But she's alive, and that's something. We can work with alive.
Well, if they have someone here that's strong enough to do a teleportation, they might also be able to locate people.
I think we've got a lot to talk about over dinner.
And as you're thinking that, you hear a gentle knocking on the door, and you see Pernorin peeking his great big form in, almost comical, because while it looks like it's a tall or decent height of a room for you, he's still at least a foot taller than, at least a foot or two taller than any one of you. Peeks in, and how are we doing in here? Everyone rested? Everyone ready for some food?
Food
Dinner
sounds
sounds
wonderful.
lovely. Yes.
Eager. I love to see that. Well, come on. Love to have you meet the missus. And we'll get your bellies nice and full. And, well, I don't speak to an adventurer's schedule, but you're welcome to come and go as you please, as I said. But also, if you wanted to rest the night, you'd of course be welcome to that too. So come on, let's go.
Thank you.
Thank
Of
you
course.
very much.
Yes, but one moment. We'll catch up with you in a second.
Hmm?
So move on.
Viola,
Yeah,
right
saying-
behind you. We'll be right behind you.
You can't miss which house is mine. You'll see it. I'll have the door open. It'll be the best smelling house in the entire village.
Fantastic.
No,
We look forward to
I
it.
thought we were already in his house.
No, we're in like
No,
a
this is
guest
the guest
house.
house.
Gotcha.
He heads out.
Alright, some of you guys aren't exactly good at not telling people everything. So when we're there and asking things, let's just not get very specific on anything I send.
Okay, I can stay quiet.
Okay, just wanted to let some of you know. He's looking at Snow and Viola.
I can be very discreet.
I never tell people's secrets or things that I am not supposed to share, so...
You have told our secrets.
I think you're thinking of someone else.
Okay.
Might need to use that detect thoughts on yourself to, like, reorganize.
That's a wild idea. What if I can read my own thoughts? I mean, I can already hear my own thoughts, though, so maybe, probably not.
Would it just be like an echo chamber where they're just bouncing back and forth?
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, I have another really cool, interesting question about thoughts. Do we think that, like, the lady that we're not saying her name, do we think if we think that name that has something to do with it? Like, does that...
Certainly hope not.
I hope not.
Okay, cool. That's all I needed to know.
I don't recommend focusing on the name long in thought, though.
I still
Okay.
want to one of these evenings. This
Maybe
might be,
Not-
later.
this
not
might
in
be a
this
good enough
village.
town. Why? It
Not
looks
in this
like
town. You don't want to bring her here.
looks like it's protected.
You break the protection. We're not doing that.
Let's go have dinner.
Right.
That's what we believe. Let's go.
You guys, with this agreement in mind, make your way out of the guest house. You guys follow Pernorin, who's not too far ahead of you and easy to spot, and you take the bridges over to his home. It's a lovely little setup. None of the houses are enormous. It has a nice cozy living space. The dining area isn't huge, but because it doesn't need to accommodate many, but it is enough to fit you guys as well. There are dishes that are steaming at the table. It looks like they've set it up special with some nice napkins and silverware that they have, maybe special for guests. But you are quickly brought in. You're allowed to wash up a bit as you need to. The dinner is ready for you. Pernoran sits at the head of the table, and you see a second of these creatures who I'm going to go ahead and say that they recognize that you may not recognize them. They are, in fact, furbolgs. Furbolgs. Not furblogs, as I keep wanting to call them. His wife, he introduced her as Arakirel, but she goes by Kiki, and you are invited to call her Kiki. She's about a foot shorter than him, more slender, but has similar auburn hair. Her shaggy hair is pulled back into a neat quote-unquote ponytail. She has an apron over her otherwise simple garments, but she makes sure everyone's comfortable. Pernoran sits at the head of the table. She sits catty-cornered to him, and you guys are welcome to take your seats as you please. Immediately allowed to tuck in. The feast is marvelous. There are meats and vegetables. There's bread and butter. There's soup. There's hot tea for you to enjoy. And before any big talk comes up, you guys enjoy a nice bit of feasting. He kind of looks over you guys as you're enjoying your food. As I said, you're welcome to stay as long as you like. But once you do leave, I must add, you'll probably want to get out of the swamp as soon as you can. It's just not been safe even for our finer adventurers that pass through. Aside from the dangers of overzealous bullywogs and the lizard folk that come through, and those dragonborn leading those merciless bandits, brutes that they are. The swamp itself, like I said before, the swamp itself is sick. It's making things worse, making everything worse. So the shorter time you stay, as much as we'd love to have you, the better it would be to get on with your adventuring. You had asked about the some type of magic, teleporting magic, right?
Yes, we had.
Well, while Kiki was cooking, I figured I'd ask around. Some of our sentries are also some of our scouts. And while they are wary recently, they do still know just a thing or two. They haven't said that they spotted a teleportation circle specifically, I suppose, but there does seem to be a fair bit of activity down in an area near one of the large ponds. It's a beautiful pond. Often we nicknamed it the Mirror. It's bright and shining and beautiful, like magic in and of itself. But something over there in that area definitely
Really?
seems like, yes, but that's where most of the trouble seems to be. So if you were looking for something that powerful, magical, it could be over there, but I don't recommend going. Unless you're all healed up and prepared, because well, the only trouble isn't just monsters that you might find, but also your not so average midnight beasties in that area. Something's got them attracted. And I don't know if the something attracted them, or if they attracted the something. Maybe whatever's making the swamp sick.
Do you know how they ended up getting there? Like, did you
How?
watch them walk, run over there?
The midnight beasters or our scouts?
The midnight beasts.
No, I didn't see how they got there. They just were there. Unusual amount for being so far from any of the bands.
Yes, that's why I was asking.
Well, then no, I haven't seen how they got there.
Sounds like it might be worthwhile checking out to see if we could perhaps find a link.
How
and a
far
means
away
to
is this?
carry on?
Oh, it's no more than a few hours.
So basically a day trip.
Yeah. Depending on how efficient you are as adventurers, could be less than that. But still dangerous. You sure you want to get yourself in the middle of all that?
Perhaps.
In the middle of everything is the best place to be.
Now, did you figure out if there was somebody here that could actually do magic? You assumed that there might be some.
Oh, yes. Oh, we have folks who can do and use the arcane. Yeah. If you had a specific need, he might charge for his services, but that's the way it goes.
How
Do you know
much?
if they would be powerful enough to do teleportation kind of magic? Or do they do more simple things?
I think he could help.
Who is
Maybe
he?
he'd rather have him take a look. One of our sentries.
That would be
I'd
grand.
be happy to introduce you.
Yes, please. That would be lovely.
Fantastic.
You said we're
Maybe we'll
trying
have
to make our
breakfast
way
together.
through here about probably about as quickly as we can, but we want to make sure we handle everything we need to before we go.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Just make sure that if you do go to that area, that you be respectful still. The swamp is not just a big old spot of land. It means something. It's got history. Our people have watched it for generations. We've seen it grow, we've seen it shrink, we've seen it light, we've seen it dark. And we do our best to make sure it doesn't stay that way. We want it staying bright. We want it rejuvenated.
Well,
So-
that's seeing, and you didn't see how the Midnight Beast got there.
Sometimes things happen and people are unaware,
Mm,
and there's not always an easy answer for how one thing came to be or another. Sometimes it just is.
Sometimes it's more abrupt than you think. Sometimes you pop out of nowhere, and you don't even know the day it happened.
That's certainly true.
But if you do go out there, what you'll want to keep an eye out for is the trees. There are a good number of them around the lake. But if you keep a good eye out, you'll spot a particular one. It's a pretty special one. We call it the Great Goshen Oak. It's actually, well, at least according to legend, it was once a treant, protector of the forest, when this was more forest than swamp. And back in the days at the start of the war, the days of the sunless dawn, this place needed protecting in a way that only this treant could do. They say that he was gifted from the gods themselves, slung down to keep this place bright and safe. And in order to do that, to push back the forces of dark, he had to give everything he had. And so he stuck his roots down into the dirt, lifted his arms up, blossomed into a great big tree, unmoving and unyielding, just like his devotion to the light. And there he remained as dark was thrown back, all the way back to Turin's Crag. Ne'er to be seen, but I guess that part's not as true since we've got all these bands hanging around. But if you spot the Great Oak, the Great Goshen Oak, keep an eye around there. And again, be respectful. The swamp will know.
So the gods forced a creature to basically off itself? Sounds about right.
Forced? Oh, no. Couldn't do it by force.
Really, Beau?
It's all right. You don't have to believe in what the gods do.
Oh
for it
no,
to
I
have an
believe
impact on your
it.
life. Well, you have to understand it either, and they'll still have an impact on your life. But you do still have quite a bit of choice yourself. I'd make the right ones, though. Don't let your soul wind up somewhere it didn't belong.
That's
It's a
just
fantastic
that is the
story.
worry.
Thank you. I tell my best stories after some good food. Ain't that right, Kiki? And she just kind of giggles and goes back to like politely with her big furball hands, politely cutting up a piece of like chicken or something. It's probably fish. It's probably more seafood in the swamp.
We're eating the stuff from the poison swamp.
They have people who can do arcane. You think that they can't purify food and water?
Poison is cooked out of it.
Yes.
It just strengthens the immune system.
hmm
As the conversation drifts again, he asks you again. The last person that we'd seen had been little Hanora. You said you knew her. Where did y'all come from?
North.
Ah, so she made it north. That's good.
She did. She's a captain now. She's doing quite well. She got married.
Oh, good for her. Found someone that fast, huh?
It was quite fast. But she's made quite a name for herself.
In less than a year. Imagine.
I'm trying to.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm very glad. When I saw her last, she was barely standing on her own feet. In fact, her feet were quite cut up, like she hadn't stopped running for days.
Do you
Poor
know where
thing.
she ran from?
She never said. She sounded rather sad about it. So whatever it was, all she said was it was some, how did she phrase it? Some spit on the map that I'd never heard of. But she was definitely coming from south.
Well, it's good that you were all able to care for her.
It's especially nice when
deserve
we can find someone who really needs the help. You four, you're hardy. We're glad to help, of course, but a little thing traveling through a swamp, traveling up the Earth Pass. I imagine she must have passed between here and Venselat. That'd be quite a trip. There aren't many more southern places than here.
She can certainly take care of herself in combat now. If she couldn't then.
Well, whoever trained her, I'll have to know. That's a lot of training to do in so short a time.
She's quite formidable.
Well, I hope you'll pass on a hello from me. She may not remember. Seems like she's got a lot going
We
on.
absolutely will. Do you remember
will,
enough
I'm-
to tell us to come find you?
That's good. That's good. Good for her.
I think she knew we could count on your hospitality the way that she was able to receive it.
And I hope you believe her.
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, eat up, eat up. That's just me being nosy.
Speaking of being nosy, is fish the only thing on the menu?
If it's not quite to your liking, I can see what else they've got. But this was it's a little bit last minute, and you don't get a lot. of things.
It's very good.
It is best meal
glad.
we've had in a while.
Oh, good. Did you have a different preference, Beau?
Do you have anything like steak, maybe?
We don't have a lot of ruminating animals around here.
So that means pork's not on the menu?
Afraid not. Not unless
So,
a traveler's
no,
coming
so
through.
no bacon then?
If only. We've had people come through who had pork and had bacon. One of the finest meals I've ever had. But it's been a while.
Did they make you bacon roses?
A rose made of bacon?
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, I'm
Nick,
afraid not. That's
we
the
get
magic I
to-
want to learn.
If we ever get to a better point, we'll be sure to send you some.
Mhm.
It tastes better that way.
If you remember old Pernorin while you're traveling, please.
How could we forget you? You're very memorable already.
Well, part of what we do is disappear into the background. We watch, try not to be too interactive with all of what goes on. So if we can touch a life or two coming past, well, that's just our little treat.
Yeah.
I remember.
So no
everyone.
livestock of any kind?
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I'm afraid
you had
not.
your answer.
Nearest you'll get will be if you head back north to Olin.
Hmm.
They're near enough to agriculture and farming, but that's out of the swamp. Take the river back up, it's quick. But you won't make it there before, well, dinner's over.
Yes.
We'll keep that in mind.
But hey, if you do make your way back here, and you let me know in advance, I can see if maybe a scouting team can head up and grab something for you. Bacon roses, you said?
We will bring some back.
Oh, it'll be a gift we'll share.
Exactly. The best kind.
But if there is anything else I can help with before you decide to do something idiotic, like head out to wherever the heart of this sickness is,
If you
let
could,
me know if I can help.
If you could introduce us to the mage you were speaking of, that would be
The
a
sentry.
great help.
Oh, yes. Oh. And he calls across the table, Kiki, think you might want to come over for some dessert?
Fish.
For fish? Fish dinner and dessert? You might be able to set that up. She shrugs, like it seems like maybe a slightly unusual to, in the middle of dinner, invite someone new over. She's, I could ask, I could try. Is that what you'd like to do tonight? While you're
That
up still?
That would be quite nice if it wouldn't be too much of an inconvenience, of course. We don't want to put you out any more than we already have. We're not trying to be any sort of burden.
Not at all.
The burden's entirely by accident.
Yeah. If it's amount that's the issue, they can have my fish.
Let me go see if he's on duty tonight, or if he's with the family. Or I'll be back. I'll go check. You make yourselves comfortable.
Thank you, Kiki.
She goes. You guys continue to eat for a little bit longer. Maybe a half hour goes by of some brief conversation, some jokes, some stories, and she comes back, and there is another furbolg with her, another 8-footer. He is in much more militaristic almost attire, does look prepared to kind of travel more. He nods to the four of you. I'm sorry, I can't stay long. You said you had a question for me. I'm on my routes. But welcome. My name is Dakian. You had a question before I continue?
Yes, how good are you at magic? Can you
Quite good.
teleport people and find people?
I can do both of these things to some extent, yes.
So you can send us up around Zaylee area.
Pretty far, but give me some time to look up what I need to look up, set it up. I'm sure I could.
And by time, that means like afternoon tomorrow.
Well, I can't just step off of my duties, and I'm not done on my shifts until, well, spotting tomorrow evening, essentially.
Yeah.
That's not too
so
bad.
Evening. So you'd be ready to go the day after tomorrow morning.
If I maybe don't sleep too much, but hey, you're guests. I could miss a little bit of sleep for that.
That would give us time to go and check out what's happening at the mirror. Maybe take care of that before.
Going up to the mirror, never mind.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
We might help you with some of your problems, and then you help us with our traveling problem. And
Anything we
finding
can do to help?
problem.
Who are you
Also,
looking
I'm
for?
Snow. It's good to
Oh,
meet
yes.
you. We're
So
the
sorry.
Vivere.
Please pardon my manners. So sorry about that.
No. Your manners were fine.
I should have
You-
asked.
You were not the problem.
Snow and other
Ste'yn.
guests.
Viola.
And that's Beau. He's not the best at socializing.
The alleged problem.
I see.
Not just alleged.
We're all
That's
good
alright.
at being problems in our own way.
Well, if you're adventurers, I imagine you're making problems for things that are problems for others. So it's no
Exactly.
problem to me.
Sometimes we make
Yeah.
problems for each other too, intentionally or not.
That's what
We're just
friends are
really
for.
good at it.
Well, yes, come find me day after tomorrow. Good to know that you'll be staying around. We like to have guests, and I'll see what more information I need, and we could probably get you going.
That would be wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. One of the things I do need to check is, well, like I said, well, I'm sure like Parnorin might have mentioned, is we try to stay in the background of things, and, well, this kingdom has a way of wanting things done very specifically. So travel long distance with magic, they like to monitor. So it might be doing this a little under the sights. If you know
Oh,
what I
we're
mean.
used to that. No,
We're
Oh.
very used to that.
Okay. Excellent. So if you just
We
wandered
operate
into
best in
Zaylee,
that
they wouldn't be.
too, yes.
Okay.
As long as it's efficient, we're fine with it.
Mhm.
Okay, because the easiest teleportation would be directly to Zaylee, and that's the capital. The capital. It's
Well,
Right.
if it makes it easier, you could even just send us straight to, I forgot it again, Leodin,
Gloria.
Iodin,
Gloria?
Gloria.
that's you, Leoda. Let me see what I can do. I'll think about it on my shift. It's not always too crazy when I'm doing sentry work, but I'll think about it for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now I was promised some puffs. And he sits down at the table quickly, and Kiki has a little tray of some sweet puffed up dough that has some sweetened cream on it that you all have in front of you as well.
Actually,
Pastries are delicious, Kiki. Thank you.
I have another thought for any of the residents of this town. What about like an armory or supplies like you have here?
What about it?
Like, do you have good supplies? Like, if we wanted to get better armor for our friend here, for example, gesturing at Snow, or maybe better weapons, you know, something to really fight that mirror or tree or
We're
what.
not
To be honest, I
fighting the mirror
lost
or the
what
tree.
I lost exactly what we were aiming for.
I lost the
but
plot.
if we're
The
going,
midnight beast over there is what we
Yes.
would be fighting, to be clear. We'll
All
keep
right,
him in
all right.
line, don't worry.
I believe you. I understand it's a lot, and you're adventurers, and you've been through a lot today, and it's already, well, the sun won't be getting too low till later, but still, we can see what we've got. We're not a traveling merchant or anything like that, but I can see if there might be something that might suit you. Can't make promises though. Like I said, we're not merchants. We don't collect
Oh,
those
no.
kinds of things.
No.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. If you have something, that would be great. But if not, we can manage.
We'll
We've
look into
managed
it.
this far. We're going to keep managing.
And Pernoran's nodding as you guys are talking, like he's just soaking up what you're saying.
yes.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask, Dakin?
Do you sell any, or not sell actually? Do you ever pass out any like spells?
Scroll wise, you mean?
Do you have a discount
Scroll
barrel?
rise, or maybe you have some journals with some things written out.
Aye, not really for passing around. Like I said, we're not the shop, just a village, welcoming folks to come through.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't buy it. It's not a shop. But do you have anything equivalent?
I don't
Not
think they
if
have
not-
anything, but
Oh, I don't
Not that's
think
not
they
very
do.
personal to the one it belongs to, and they don't really. As much as we love to share what we've got, that one's a little more difficult to ask to share.
Oh,
We-
they
Which I
None
know.
of the
old?
stalls in the main town ever have any?
Well, that's where most of the sharing happens, and
Dang.
so it wouldn't be. Yes, like produce and fish.
What time are they usually there? When I went by this afternoon, there was no one there, or very few people there, or is it just always pretty scarce?
You probably caught us getting ready for dinner, but in the regular hours in between, you'll see.
So,
a
what
good
are the
number of
regular
people.
hours in between? That was
Not
I think,
around
the question that I
mealtimes.
was asking.
Between meal times. Sometimes you'll get some late jaunters, like to be out
Okay.
in the starlight.
Well, maybe you can check that out tomorrow, Beau. Find some of those spell situations that you're looking for.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. You've been quite helpful and it's very nice, very kind.
Fantastic.
See that sky today? Talk about blue.
Dakian grabs a couple more puffs before he thanks Pernoran and Kiki and wishes you all well and says he'll see you soon. Goes back to his sentry. Pear and Kiki have some more chat with you. They do mention that if you are insistent on going to the mirror, there are two ways you could get there. Two probably better paths. Neither really is good. The swamp itself, like I said, is not been friendly. But you can either head north of us, follow the river, head in towards another bridge, nice big bridge. Just be mindful there's a bullywug territory too far north, so you want to stick near the river. You'll stick south of where they normally are. And the other option would just be head west directly. That one is a little difficult too, in that just the swamp gets a bit more mushy there, a little more grabby. So if you're going to be walking it, just be very careful. It'll slow you down if you're not. More than it ought. But you could decide which way. Either way is dangerous. But that's just the nature of the swamp right now.
Seems to be the nature of most of large parts of the world right now, which is something we hope to help correct in whatever ways that we can to bring
Odd
light back.
considering. Exactly. We're supposed to be in a time of peace. Not sure what they mean by peace up in Zaylee.
Yes, and speaking of peace, so like if we go beyond like this little dome thing you have around this thing, and then is it easy coming right back? Or the guard's gonna give us a hard time?
No, we know who you are now.
Good.
We'll let you in. Well,
You've been extremely helpful. Is there anything that we can do for any of you personally? Do you need anything that we could provide?
we don't need anything. We want for nothing. We've got our whole community here. We've got the swamp around us. Beauty, strength, food. You just keep yourself safe. And have a good night's rest.
Yes, we shall.
This one, just pointing over at Ste'yn. This one seems
Yeah.
like she could use the rest.
Yes, that's all great. But before she gets a rest, actually, I have still a favor I need from her. I am remembering for when we walk
Yes.
out of here. I have a favor.
Okay. We can talk about the favor.
Something private. Are you ready to head back to your guest house?
I
You
thought
don't
we
want
were
to
done, right?
Intrude. I can stay and help with dishes, though, if that would be of any use.
You don't have to do that at all. You're welcome to, but you don't have to.
I can do them really fast, though. And he will prestidigitate his plate, and it's clean.
And you hear a little squeak from Kiki, like, oh, that does help quite a bit. Pear, why can't you do that? Kiki, how am I supposed to
So
be
how
able to
about I'll
snap
take
and make
about
magic
a
happen?
minute to do all of the dishes.
Honestly, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. And Kiki starts collecting the dishes, heading over towards this kitchen area with you, while Pear stays with the other three.
The rest of you can go
guiding you
ahead.
back
I'll
to the
catch
front.
up in a minute.
All right. Just be safe.
You guys are heading back to the guest house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Alright. He wishes you a good night, says he'll see you in the morning. If you see his door open in the morning, you're welcome to come in for breakfast. They'd be happy to have you back. Snow helps with dishes, gets everything nice and clean very quickly. And then you're going to join them back at the guest house, Snow? Okay?
Ste'yn, remember last night when you were like, tomorrow you could send another message to our those elf siblings, those two people thing?
Yes. I can do that.
Okay, so you haven't done it yet.
No, I haven't done it yet. We've been a little bit preoccupied this day, in
No,
case you
that's-
hadn't noticed so far.
That's fine, just confirming. So if you hadn't done it yet, then yes.
Yes, you still want me to?
Yes, the person I'm concerned about killed somebody that Helena works for Helena. So,
Right. I think you have more information you haven't told us yet about what's going on. I think it'd be really good for you to share that, and maybe some other things, perhaps about yourself, that might be good for people to know. But I do think I can make this call for you, send this message out for you, make sure that Tiana and Polly are still indeed alive. And she will go ahead and cast sending to Polly.
So much
Hello.
sending has happened.
We made it to the swamp. We hope y'all are doing well. Don't know when we'll see or speak to you again, but if there's... I think I'm running out of words. This is weird. Have a good night.
I'm going to assume that worked. You get a response. The words are kind of side by side with some laughter, but also like relief.
Thank goodness. Was a little worried, but if you're safe, good. Let us know if we should meet you for pickup.
They're still alive, Beau. They asked if we need to coordinate with them for pickup at some point.
seems like we have our exit planned.
Potentially. We'll see how it works. So we're back to the
You're back
guest
to the
house.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys are doing tonight before you go to sleepy sleep?
Before I know that there's a spell that he's gonna put in his book. I
Okay.
guess it'll be Ice Knife.
Viola does her journal like usual, but that's it. And the other thing.
The other thing.
Yes. You have your journal out. You finish up your journaling. You take hold of the ring on your hand and you ask your question. What are you asking?
She wants to ask her grandmother if she knows anything about a goddess of the dark named that name. And she'll think it, but she's
Named
not
that
saying
name.
it. I don't even want to say it.
But you think the name to get it across to as part of your question.
Yes.
You feel the ring grow warm, comfortable in your hand, and you hear this soft voice in your head, not at all like earlier today.
What a dreadful name. But no, sweetheart, I've not heard such a name, and I don't think it's anyone you want to associate with, dear. Please be safe.
And it feels like that energy is spent. Almost as if the soul is tired.
Granny to work.
Anything else y'all are doing tonight?
Before she goes to sleep, Ste'yn's gonna use her 4th level slot to send one last sending tonight before getting all
Woohoo!
rest in. And she's going to send a message to her brother.
Contacting all sorts of family relatives right now.
Okay.
How does she phrase this?
That's a very
Carefully,
good
I
question.
Something's coming. Take your wife, my niece, my nephew, and head to Zaylee or somewhere else to stay alive.
High or low, Ste'yn?
Hi.
Does not believe you.
Hey, that's on them.
Okay. You get a response. Almost unexpected, and yet that's how
Yeah, I
magic
think
works.
she was hoping not.
Mm-hmm. You hear your brother's voice. Haven't heard it in heaven knows how long.
Even from far away, you still bring trouble? Okay, we'll see about it. Where are you anyway? Not too close, I hope.
She just, she's just gonna lay awake and ponder that for the next 6 hours.
Snow ends the day by casting Major Image to decorate the entire 20-foot space around us as if it is decorated for a festival. There's multicolored lights and what looks like colorful flags and banners and fireflies that drift through it. It looks like a very warm, inviting, and cheerful place. I'm going to use my 4th level slot, and it stays up until dispelled.
Nice.
And from it, there will also be sounds of it sounds like there's music coming from very far away. It's very cheerful, but also it's not upbeat, it's not lively, it is just nice and soft. Easy to fall asleep to.
You guys get to enjoy this continuous, beautiful, soft music rolling through the guest house, choosing whichever of the beds. All the remaining ones are empty. You're the only guests for this night. Beau, there's plenty of high spaces outside if you'd like to sleep there instead. Many options. And you drift to sleep for a nice, long rest, feeling nice and refreshed and leveled even, strong and powerful, stronger than you were the day before.
And wait, how many long rests was it
Yes.
before caffeine wore off? Because this is our 3rd since the caffeine. Ste'yn finally
Aye.
balanced.
3 or 4.
Let me finish.
Oh.
The morning rolls around and
Ste'yn's
Ste'yn's
dead.
dead. Her heart exploded.
She had a very long rest. A permanent rest.
Ste'yn, the last few nights you could have closed your eyes, but also you did not need to close your eyes. And you expected really fully the same tonight as well, as wherever you made yourself comfortable, whether it was in the bed. They don't have a graveyard here, unfortunately, but anywhere that you found making yourself nice and comfortable. Your eyes are open, kind of enjoying Snow's image, and you're not quite sure when your eyes drifted close, but at some point, your eyes did finally drift close into a nice, deep rest. You do get the full benefits of a long rest. You will get to enjoy your level up. And when you wake in the morning, Snow and Viola, and you're getting ready to start your day, you do see Ste'yn finally asleep, resting, absolutely peaceful. You honestly don't think you've ever seen her so peaceful before. And Viola's traveled with her quite a bit. You almost don't want to wake her. But would you choose to wake her to get the day started?
Eventually.
I'd probably let her sleep until
But-
at least like after breakfast or something. Like I'd let her sleep through breakfast.
Oh yeah, well, she can definitely sleep.
Okay. You let her...
Speaking of breakfast, Beau did sleep outside the area and then does plan to catch something in the morning. Because he hasn't had
Perfect.
blood in a couple of days now.
I will, you can give a survival roll. Disadvantage if you're going to go outside of the little colony.
Alright, well, if it's disadvantage, it's in that one.
It's a lot of spoiled, rotten fish and gross things. You could eat it if you wanted to. So you come back. Are you going to be joining them for breakfast too? Regular
I
breakfast?
am not sure yet.
We can determine that.
Yes.
But when Snow and Viola return, Ste'yn is still resting peacefully in her sleep, in the bed. It's about time to wake her up. Go and shake her awake. She's still asleep. Give her another good shake. She is out.
Oh my gosh.
Loud noises, clapping, shoving. She is out like a light, and nothing appears to be getting this girl out of bed.
Oh boy. Stay
Sleepy.
instead!
Sleepy
She's not
Ste'yn.
dead, she's breathing, you can tell.
She's just very, very sleepy. Ste'yn will be peacefully resting through our Christmas break, but that is where we will end tonight's session. Thank you from all of us here at Tales from the Catacombs. Catch up and recapture your favorite moments by subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you journeying with us to bring clean content to the world of tabletop RPGs. We completed our push to 200 subscribers, so thank you very much for that. We are at 201, and that means after we get back for the new year, at some point we're doing a celebration for our 2-year anniversary in February. We can't celebrate on the day of because instead we're celebrating something else, which is our beloved Catherine's wedding. So excited.
It's so close.
It's crazy close. But she's also going to be gracing us with a phenomenal, unique one-shot for hitting those 200 subscribers. And it might even be, not even might, it's going to be an extended one-shot. Not a two-shot, but just a longer one-shot because we're going to marathon it. So we'll see how long that actually ends up being. I'm super excited.
We'll see what happens.
Very, very cool. So thank you for the 200 subscribers. Thank you to all our future subscribers who are on the way. And a particularly huge thanks to my players, whose links are in the description below. Please take a moment to follow these tremendous people and their exciting endeavors. David, who plays Beau, Catherine, who plays Ste'yn, Kassie, who plays Viola, and Josh, who plays Snow, all together making the incredible adventuring party, the Vivere, that we got to meet officially for the first time this year. It's been a good year for these adventures.
It is.
I'm Brenna, your storyteller for this adventure, and we will see you back here next time in 2025.
Yeah.
I mean, technically next week.
Yeah.
Technically next week. We do have another one-shot. It's our Christmas one-shot, and it does take place in this world. So you'll see Razia again next week, but we're actually going to a brand new place that we've only talked about and never actually seen. We get to visit and see what the purist side of things looks like. I'm very excited to see the personalities of these characters. Cannot even lie to you. So that'll be next week. And we appreciate you guys hanging out for that too. Don't miss that. 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. If we don't see you though, from the Vivere and from me and to all of you, Merry Christmas, Happy Advent, and Happy New Year, and safe travels until we meet again.